everyone! Welcome to another How We Felt About. I'm Captain Logan, and today we're going to tell you how we felt about Spider-Man Brand New Day. No, I'm kidding. I did it on purpose this time. These 3-syllable titles, Robert, I swear to God, it's bad enough that you've got, Captain America and Spider-Man both with a 3-word title, 3-syllable title, starting with the letter B, but all the Spider-Man movies have it. All of them. Like, even Homecoming, it's 1 word, but it's 3 syllables. You got Homecoming, you got Far From Home, No Way Home, Brand New Day. Even if the next movies in this new trilogy, assuming it's a trilogy, I think they're still talking about it like that, don't have Day all in the title, which I think is entirely possible and plausible. It's like, it'll be the Day trilogy this time. I swear to God, they'll still have 3-syllable titles. Anyway, welcome guys. Tonight we've got my son Jason.
It's a new day.
And we've got Robert Wild.
Hello.
We got a giant panel for Spider-Man tonight. Yeah, Austin couldn't make it. Connor was originally planning on being here. He couldn't make it. So we're going to have a lot of fun, just the 3 of us. And it'll be great because Robert's usually here with like a 4, 5, 6-man panel and gets talked over constantly and never gets to say anything. So this time we'll keep talking over Robert, just the 2 of us, and pretend like he has more time. No, I'm kidding.
No, this time we're just going to leave, and Robert gets it all to himself.
Yeah, that's right. We'll do a real quick sign flip, and then it's all you, buddy. Roll.
Hell yeah.
No, I want to talk about this. So, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Can you guys believe? So, a couple of weird landmarks with this movie, not counting how crazy well it's doing at the box office, which we'll talk about. I could not have predicted that. And that's more surprising than how hard Supergirl bombed. I didn't call that either, like just how hard that happened. It's like the absolute reverse of that. 5-year anniversary of the last one. Of No Way Home. I don't know how it's been that long. 10-year anniversary of Spider-Man in the MCU. So we didn't hit Homecoming. That's next year. But this comes out almost exactly 10 years after Civil War, which is where we introduced this character. And that's fitting because he starts in a movie with a whole bunch of different superheroes from various pockets of the Marvel Universe. And we now have a bunch of different things from different pockets of the Marvel Universe in his movie. So we'll talk about all of those elements. Robert, give us a quick little synopsis and have fun with it, because no spoilers at the start. I don't even know how you do that with this movie. It's like if you say anything about this movie, you've already spoiled it for people that haven't seen it. So good luck, buddy. Now, most of our audience will have seen this, obviously, so we'll try not to spend too long in the non-spoiler section. But that's the format for the show. If anybody wants to come in and just watch the first half hour and decide if they want to see it, we try to do that. This one, I think people are going to know the big surprises already. But anyway, do your best, Robert. Good luck.
Yeah, like you were saying, Spider-Man Brand New Day is the latest Spider-Man film with Tom Holland in the MCU, following up the last one where the whole world's memory has been wiped of Peter Parker. People remember Spider-Man, but they don't know that Peter Parker, for all intents and purposes, doesn't exist anymore to this world. So he's still dealing with that a few years later, and he's gone all in on the Spider-Man persona. He's all Spider-Man, no Peter Parker, and it's starting to take a toll on him in maybe a very literal physical sense. He's starting to go through some changes, and while he's going through that, there is a new mysterious threat in New York City that he's got to deal with maybe some help from other corners of the MCU, whether he wants it or not, and this is also the first Spider-Man film directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, taking over from John Watts from the Home trilogy, director of Shang-Chi, and I think co-creator of that Wonder Man show that just got canceled.
I didn't realize he was involved in that.
Yeah. So yeah, new director, new style, all new.
All new, all different.
That's the setup. Yes.
All new, some different. Obviously, we've still got the 2 main members of the supporting cast back not remembering who Peter Parker is. I wondered before coming into this, and really right after the last one, because I massively disliked the the amnesia ending of the last movie, where we do the sort of one more day thing, and we wipe everybody's memory of Peter Parker. Um, it's obviously not the same thing, but it's somewhat derived from that. I was like, okay, are we gonna have to spend an entire movie watching him get back together with his friends and reestablish kind of the same status quo and all of that? We'll talk about how that's handled, but I obviously MJ and Ned are brought back in and are not just in and out, but MJ especially has still a pretty major role in this. But yeah, good job not spoiling the threat. Like, so mysterious that it's left out of the advertising. I was telling Jason before we started, I think this is the first time we're doing how we felt about or spoiler cast or whatever, where we have to not reveal the villain.
Couldn't I guess Doctor Strange 2 did that because they didn't flat out say in the advertising that Wanda was the villain of
That's
that
true.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't
We
even
just
think
knew
about
she
that.
was in it.
No, you're right. Yeah, and actually, this one goes even farther than that, where you're not ostensibly you don't know that the character is even in it. Ostensibly, but
Which I feel like
we'll talk about that.
I hope this isn't giving too much away. With who it is,
here
I
he
feel
goes.
like
Here he goes.
they could have done what they did with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah,
well, and I'll say there was a rumored character months ago. I don't know. I'm the spoiler. But let's just get into Sign Flip, shall we? I was just gonna say there was a character that was rumored that I like. I didn't ever think, hey, that's supposed to be a villain. I just thought that character was supposed to be in the movie somewhere. Anyway, let's start with Robert this time.
Oh my god. So for my sign flip, when I get to it, I got green for the Incredible Hulk, which makes sense, and red for Punisher Warzone.
Neither of those actors are in the movie, dude.
Yeah, that's what they have in common, Jason. Keep up. But I've actually not seen that movie, Punisher Warzone, yet, but I've heard it's fun.
It's fun.
So yeah, this is an interesting one coming into where if you hated the last movie, I don't know if this is gonna win you over or not with some of the choices it makes. I'll just say in relation to this, I'm gonna start with my worst thing. Actually, my worst thing is Mark Ruffalo in this movie. I still don't like him as this character. I love the Hulk and don't care for his take on Bruce Banner. I thought he was fine in the first two Avengers movies, and I mean I've liked Mark Ruffalo and other things, but he's just been terrible since that. That's no different here. So that's my worst thing. My best thing is he's only in the movie for a few minutes.
Wow.
No, that's not my actual best thing.
Wow.
Okay, look, I just gotta. Sorry, this will be the only time I stop you, I promise. But I just have to jump in for a second and say I feel like Robert is conflating this movie with the title I accidentally said at the beginning, because Brave New World was a Hulk sequel that was a Captain America film, and he's reviewing this like it's a Hulk movie, but it's not a Hulk movie. It just happens to have the Hulk in it.
Correct. Yeah, so still not a fan of his Dr. Banner. Didn't enjoy him very much here, and even the Hulk sequence. Like, I mean, we'll get to it later, but actually, it doesn't go on very long, and it's debatable how necessary it even was. But believe it or not, there is more Red Hulk in Brave New World than there is regular Hulk in this movie. Don't let the advertising fool you. No, my actual best thing is going to be, once again, Tom Holland. I think he's great in all of these. He's once again giving it his all. But specifically with him, I really like where we start with Peter in this movie, and him trying to suppress that side of himself and going all in on the Spider-Man persona. That's a superhero trope I enjoy, but particularly I really dug the running motif of him refusing to take off his mask, and it's deeper than just, oh, I can't let people know my secret identity. Like, that's obviously what he says the reason is, but like, it's really a security blanket for him in this movie. Like, it's a defense mechanism. Like, he cannot deal with people seeing his face because he's so ashamed of what happened to Aunt May in the last movie. So all that
Especially
stuff
given that
with his characters, I really
he
like.
might as well not even have a like driver's license or anything. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is like at all, so he could almost run around without the mask and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's Peter
Yeah,
Parker. Who the hell is that? What do you have find him in any database?
But yeah, overall, I'm gonna flip green on this one. I did enjoy this movie. For me, this is my favorite live action Spider-Man movie since Homecoming. I liked it a lot. There's plenty of problems that we'll get to later. Like, this is not a perfect movie, but I enjoyed it. Like, I am feeling this movie. I had a good time with it.
Robbie, your sign flips are always so entertaining. That was super ironic that in the Alanis Morissette sense anyway, that you said your worst thing was the Hulk, and then you used the Hulk to flip green. I just had to explain the joke because I thought it'd be funnier if I explained it.
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Okay, thank you for your sign flip. Jayson!
Yo!
Let's see where you're at on this. And actually, real quick, before Jayson does his sign flip, let me just welcome everybody watching live. I forgot to do that at the start. Appreciate you guys. We'll interact with you as much as possible as we go. Feel free to help direct the conversation, both in and out of Super Chats. If you are so inclined to support the channel in that way, you leave a Super Chat in any dollar amount, and that guarantees we will read your question or comment or idea suggestion, and if there's anything that we're not talking about the movie that you're just bubbling to make sure that we talk about, you can leave a super chat. You can also direct your questions to Jayson in regular comments, and he will try to get some of those in as well. Okay, Jayson, what is your sign flip, sir?
So, I think Robert ended up stealing both of our bad things. So I'm just gonna go out.
No, he didn't steal mine.
Really? Because I know, I think I knew where you landed on that, but that was my worst thing.
I loved the Hulk. No, I can't say that. I'm gonna say, but that is not in fact my worst thing. Go ahead.
I am gonna say that I think my worst thing is still a bit different than yours because I also don't like Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk. I think this is his best performance since Age of Ultron, and I think that what they did wrong with him is they just didn't do anything with him. There's no reason for him to be here as him or as the Hulk. And so I was like, well, we're just kind of wasting time here. Like it was fun, but it was probably for me the weakest thing in the movie. The best thing is just the overall like style and directing, and Destin Cretton did a wonderful job. Especially I was very surprised after Shang-Chi because I do not like Shang-Chi, and I don't think that's very well directed. But I mean, I don't know, he did something. It's different. I got so burnt out by No Way Home that even though there's all the other Spider-Mans and there's these villains and it felt like the same thing again that we had from Homecoming and Far From Home, and it just felt like we were doing the same thing over and over again. And now we have a grown-up Tom Holland, and it's a different status quo, and I thought that like the darker tone of it fit Spider-Man really well, and it was one of my favorite recent MCU films to like just on an like enjoy scale, on a scale of how much I enjoyed it, just because it felt different, and I think I've only seen it once. Dad saw it twice. Um, it might end up being my favorite live action Spider-Man movie. It might. I really liked it. I'm flipping green on it. It's the best. It's my favorite Tom Holland performance. It's my favorite Tom Holland movie. And I think while it does take some things from the Tobey movies, particularly Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, I think it handles some of that better than both of those movies. And even my favorite Spider-Man movie is The Amazing Spider-Man, which is weird, but I think this is maybe better than that. So
I think these days, before you say a thing like that, you're required to say hot take.
Hot
I think
take.
that's the parlance of the day.
Yeah. No, I've started saying hot take afterwards, so the people are like, "What?" So yeah, that's my sign flip.
You just throw off
Really
their
like this
expectations. You go, here's a crazy thing. Hot take.
Oh, and I think another thing that the movie does really well is the status quo change from the end of the last movie. I liked a bit better than Dad did, because Dad hated it.
With the burning passion of 1,000 suns.
I was just more like, they handled it way better than I thought they would. So in this movie, so we'll see what Dad thinks about that, but yeah, that was my other big thing. And then the supporting cast with the other MCU or Marvel characters that aren't Spider-Man besides Hulk were great.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Bernthal. We actually walked out of the theater and you said best thing was Punisher.
Well, that was a kind of a joke.
Oh, okay.
But he was really good in it, but he wasn't the best thing. But he was great.
Okay, I don't understand best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. I can't meet you there. I don't understand. Did you say maybe favorite live action Spider-Man movie?
Yes,
even over
sure
Amazing
did.
for you at this point.
It might
Okay.
with a rewatch. It might.
Yeah,
I think just now it's not, but
and
it might get there.
And I'm
That's what
hearing
saying.
that from some folks. Obviously, there's a recency bias. Yeah. I wonder how that will shake out for folks in a few years, especially after more of these are made, because certainly this feels like a kind of resetting of the deck chairs and getting into kind of a new feel and flavor. And it kind of feels like the sort of movie that's just getting the ball rolling, on quite a few things. So like, obviously on the one hand, it's the fourth of these, so we've been here for a long time, and here's another one of these. And in another way, it's very much like the start of things to come, both for Spider-Man and other stuff in the MCU moving forward that we'll talk about. But yeah, I'll do my sign flip first. I'm certainly feeling it. I enjoyed this a lot. I saw it twice. And I was a little bit worried. I went again today because unusually for me, I went early. I went last Thursday, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I had like Robert said, and we'll talk about it. Certainly several issues with it, and I had. There's one major place where I just feel like something's missing and it feels real lacking. And I wondered if I would have more of that feeling even on a second viewing, where once I know where everything is going, a lot of seams would start to show. I had that massively with No Way Home, where some of the novelty of that movie really, and I won't just rehash my review of that, but some of the novelty of that movie really got me the first time around, particularly because I didn't expect the other two Spider-Men to get as much to do as they did. They were much more like full-on supporting characters than I thought, so it exceeded my expectations in certain ways. And then on a second viewing, a lot of like plot issues and logic stuff and just sloppy writing jumped out at me, and so I had a big step down experience the second time I saw it. With this movie, flatline, even keel, exact same experience, more or less. On a second viewing, or at least I enjoyed it on the same level on a second viewing. So that's good. Like I still liked it as much as I did first time out. My best thing is I'm gonna say Gene the Wolf. I was excited that character was going to be here, and Austin and I talked about that. I felt the same way he did about it. Where it's like, oh neat, they're going to include that character. She's not going to get anything to do. She'll be like on the ground, helping out with police. Saying like one thing to Spider-Man in a scene, and then we'll never see her again. And nope, she is kind of his Gordon in this, and I really enjoyed that. Could she have gotten even more to do? Sure. Minor spoilers: is she kind of dropped out for a lot of the second half? Yeah. I don't know what she would have done with some of what was happening in that second half. I think she is unqualified at some point to help out with this problem. But I really like her dynamic and relationship with Spider-Man. I like her as the one person he has to talk to. Like, if you've got a character, particularly Spider-Man, who's usually a pretty talky kind of character, like part of the reason Spider-Man works well alone and without a sidekick and without somebody constantly to talk to is that he's such a yapper. He can talk to himself, and we buy it. I mean, like more in comics than in movies. And obviously, Tobey Maguire's version, we didn't go that way as much, and it showed. But when you have a Spider-Man that's a little more broody like this, and is kind of unhappy with his lot in life, and is refusing to make personal connections, yeah, he's got to have an Alfred or a Gordon or somebody. He's got to have somebody to talk to. And we actually use her for that, and we use Punisher for that in kind of amusing ways. But yeah, that just the whole like small set of supporting characters that are there to kind of replace Peter's friends because he's refusing to have friends. Logical choices there, neat dynamics in various ways kind of reflect the issues he's going through and his isolation. Punisher is the obvious one. Where Peter is kind of trying to live like the Punisher, and his arc is about realizing he can't go it alone, and he's dealing with the Punisher to help sort of fill that void. And that's like the last person on Earth that's a good idea to fill that void with, and he's not going to learn that lesson himself. So like all of that was great, and like Jason said, man, just the overall tone and ambiance of this is spot on. It's so good. I came into this worrying it would feel a little like forced, dark and oppressive and broody, and it really doesn't. It strikes a really great balance. Like it's kind of a feel-good movie in its way. I feel like it is cribbing pretty hard from Thunderbolts in a couple of big ways, partly tonally and partly just how the third act is handled, which we'll talk about.
Maybe that's also why I liked it so much.
Sure, yeah. It cuts both ways for me, because I don't think it's as good as Thunderbolts.
No, it's
and I particularly
not.
don't think that ending is as good as Thunderbolts. So like, I like it for that tonally, but I feel like the third act is in some ways kind of a weaker Thunderbolts, and it's hurt by the fact that just came out last year.
I do agree with that.
Well, there's a lot of Thunderbolts in this. There's also a lot of Guardians 3 in this. And I do think those are both better movies, but the story here still worked for me.
I didn't think of Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Right. Peter and Gamora.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Yes, that part of it.
Okay, yeah.
I thought of that before going in. Yeah, I wasn't... Just now, I wasn't sure what you were talking about.
That's the other thing with this movie.
But yes, good call.
Is I expected...
But I'll say with that aspect of it is handled as well or better. Than Guardians
I think
3.
so.
Sorry, what were you going to say real quick?
That's the other thing with this movie is I expected nothing from this movie because I just don't... I wasn't really in a Spider-Man headspace, and I haven't really been super excited for new Marvel stuff, and so that was another thing with this, is it just really surprised me.
I am with you in with your surprise in the Amnesia stuff working as well as it does, because I was in the same place with the MJ thing as I was with Gamora, where I was kind of rolling my eyes, going, "Oh, great, we got to deal with this. We got to deal with him trying to Star-Lord in that case trying to rebuild a relationship with someone that doesn't remember him. In that case, a totally different version of her, and it's handled really maturely, and it's maybe the most I've liked MJ, which is kind of surprising
Yeah.
because I was in the camp of okay, write her out now. Let's let Peter go on a completely different place. Let's not yo-yo the audience around with their version of Mary Jane like we have in the comics for freaking 30 years. Like, stop it. And somehow I don't want to say I'm fully won over because I don't like that they did it in the first place, but I'm as won over as I can be. And I think good things could come from that moving forward. The attitude of it felt similar, and I don't know if this is true. I'm really glad Mark Webb didn't make that. Mark Webb? Mark Webb. I'm
John Watts?
not Mark Webb, John Watts. I'm really glad John Watts didn't make this because the attitude feels like it's made by somebody that kind of maybe feels the same way I do about it, and they're just making the best of it. I kind of like Gunn definitely had with Guardians 3, because he would not have made that choice had it been up to him, and he was saddled with it from Endgame. But anyway, so my best thing is Gene DeWolf, and then by extension, just how like 80s comic book feel a lot of this is. It's like part because I love the quote unquote darker street level Spider-Man stuff, and I don't mean dark in the sense that like it gets really like violent and adult, and Spider-Man's got to go around like brutalizing people and that sort of thing. But just like it's still fun, but the tone is like it doesn't have that amazing, sorry Jason, that amazing problem where it goes a little bit too far the other way, like let's see the sun. But anyway, there's also a little bit of the 90s cartoon in this, which I was really surprised by. Particularly with the head hopping thing that the villain does. That feels like a thing that that could have been in that show. That's like right out of that show. But
it also kind of felt like an amazing movie too, like
really?
a little bit. Yeah. Well, there are shots that are just like straight lifted.
Oh, I thought you meant just specifically that aspect of it was like the amazing movies. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, which is kind of ironic because don't you think? It's kind of ironic because No Way Home was a blend of everything, like literally, because it brought in all those villains and both of those characters. This felt like a mismatch of all the tones of those movies without those other characters.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat. My worst thing is, and I don't think this is too much of a spoiler because we get glimpses of it in the trailers. My worst thing is, and I don't fully hate it. There's things about it I like, but on the whole, the way Peter's spider mutation is handled, not the biggest fan of that. And it's gonna be too spoilery to talk about why right here, so we'll do it a little bit later. But I was a little bit let down by that, and that was part of what felt like was missing. That was kind of a kind of an empty feeling for me.
I think the performance and the directing was really good. I think story wise, they could have been more, and there was some weird stuff that I might have just missed in the story that I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So we can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a device that works really well thematically for the arc we're going through and for the parallels that's made with the villain.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and the last thing I want to say just real quick is it's good. It's not $1 billion opening weekend good. Like I'm shocked by how well this is doing, and I have a theory. And when I say like it's close worldwide. It's like 940 worldwide. It's broken all the records. We've never seen anything like it. It's nuts. I wasn't sure anything could. I wasn't sure a Spider-Man movie could ever beat No Way Home, and this is gonna this might beat Endgame. It's going to do Endgame numbers. Unless everybody saw it opening weekend, it has a big drop off after that. I will say, it does seem a little polarizing. Like I'm hearing both this was brilliant and this is kind of lame from people. So I don't know if it will have the legs that No Way Home did, regardless of how huge the opening box office is. What do you think, Robert?
Well, I think it's several factors. It's like I mean, like you said, No Way Home was a big cultural sensation, and it's been like 5 years since that. So you've had build up, you've had time away, and I think there's several factors at play. One of which being, and I think this is a good thing that it's also just reflective of how, for whatever reason, this year movie theaters are kind of finally back. Like this year, collectively, even though we've had a few bombs like Supergirl, collectively, this year is like the most money movie theaters have made since before pandemic, like since 2019. So I think there is just a greater shift for whatever reason of people are just going to the theater again. And I mean, this is a Spider-Man movie; it's a big deal. So I think it's also just reflective of, oh, this is like a big movie that everyone is going to see again, and it's not just an anomaly. And I think that's cool. It still far exceeded my expectations
Yeah.
in terms of
Look,
its
I expected
intake.
to do well. Adam
Yeah,
March says, but it's Spider Man. Yeah, okay. Did you expect it to do close to a billion opening weekend? I didn't. We've never seen that. Why now? Why this movie instead of No Way Home? What was it about? Like this premise, the advertising, we didn't. Here's why it's surprising to me, and like I said, I have a theory. It speaks to what you were talking about a minute ago, Robert. It's probably time away. It's probably people just chomping at the bit. This is the biggest superhero franchise, and in an era where people are always complaining about superhero fatigue, the one character a lot of people really want to see, even if they're tired of superheroes, is Spider-Man. If the whole thing went away, this is the one character that you could continue forever. Is Spider-Man and probably Batman in the correct kind of iteration. There's we talk about this a lot. There's two, three, or four. Like Wolverine, maybe X-Men in general, maybe if you make the right stuff. But anyway, so it's probably time away. I think possibly, I don't know how much this is affecting it, but I think possibly the long delays with the last Spider-Verse movie probably helped. Like if we'd had
sure.
one of those already, I don't know, like that would have satiated people a little bit. Like I think it really is. It's been so long since we had to wait half a decade. In fact, have we ever waited half a decade for a Spider-Man movie?
Nope.
It would have been just between Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man, I guess.
Yeah, that was '07 to
To 12.
2012. So that's the last time
That's
this
Yeah.
yeah.
happened. Which is funny because I said back then it was too fast. I
Mhm.
Yeah, but the
Everyone said
Amazing
that.
Spider-Man 2 to Civil War is
It's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, that we
Mhm.
rebooted it that
2 years.
fast. I but yeah, what the reason I'm so surprised by it is because a lot, at least some of the excitement for a Spider-Man movie has to do with your villain, and this is making that much opening weekend people don't even know who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
That's kind of shocking. Like, do people look at Punisher in the trailer and go, "Oh my god, I have to see that"? Did people see uh Hulk in the trailer and go, like, you see Hulk in a trailer now and it's just it's another Wednesday. It's like, okay, we can't make Hulk movies, so of course he's in some random Marvel movie again. So anyway, yeah, I am pretty blindsided by just how huge that number is. I thought this would do certainly over a billion collectively. I didn't think it would do an opening weekend. I didn't think it had a shot at beating No Way Home. Like, it's weird. This is not an event like that. And so what we're learning, and Spider-Man movies always do well. They've never done anything like this. And so what we're learning, I guess, is that it either has to be a big event in that, like, it's a big villain people are excited about, or it's the multiverse thing we had last time, or it has to be it's just been too long.
Yeah, another factor, and I have no idea if this is a case. You're probably gonna say I'm incorrect on this theory, but it is interesting that the very next MCU movie is Avengers Doomsday, which they're certainly selling as the biggest event movie ever. I mean, so there could be a little that going into that, like, well, this is A, it's a Spider-Man movie, and B, like this is the like last MCU movie before the next big event, like how you've always said like Captain Marvel only makes $1 billion because it's between Infinity War and
Yeah.
Endgame. You know, like could that be contributing to this?
I'm glad you said that because I had that thought too, and my answer is, like maybe. So here's the thing: the difference between and then we'll get into spoilers and actually review this movie. Captain Marvel was talked up real hard by Marvel as she's going to be really integral to the next one. You have to see this movie, and so people went because they thought it was required reading. I mean, that's why they went, and it is, and so this movie did not have that. But being right before Doomsday, you're right. It's very possible that folks expected an after credit scene that would do more to set up Doomsday than it actually does.
And we still don't even know if Tom Holland is in that movie, but I think most people just assume he will be.
Yeah, I'm
Because
assuming at this point
anything,
he won't be.
yeah,
I don't think they would surprise us and sleeper drop Tom Holland if he, like, his name's not on a chair. He's not been in any of the advertising yet. They've not been talking about him. I don't think he's in it. And if he was, they would they'd make a big deal out of synergy like they usually do, right?
yeah. Like this isn't a spoiler, but in the credits it just says Spider-Man will return. It does not say Spider-Man will return in Avengers Doomsday.
And also, I don't know why they still do that with the obvious characters that they're making bazillions of dollars on. Man, I'm sure this is already true. Marvel's really gotta wish that they didn't have to profit share with Sony, because the Spider-Man franchise could float everything that bombs for them or doesn't do as well as they were hoping. You know what I mean? Like $1 billion opening weekend almost, again, worldwide. You look at what this is likely to do, and if Marvel could take 100% of the profits, they could pay for Thunderbolts, they could pay for Brave New World, like they pay for everything that's been mediocre to bad for the last 3 years.
Yep.
But no, they gotta have Sony.
There is that cynic. I don't know if it's like if there's that part of me that just wants to watch the world burn or whatever, but I kind of love that Sony still has Spider-Man, like despite all the garbage they make. Like it's kind of nice that it's the one thing Disney doesn't 100% have.
Yeah,
and I think that's fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also Sony, so I don't know.
They make the worst thing ever, the worst things ever. They also make the Spider-Verse movies, which Disney wouldn't make. So
yeah, but I mean, that's Breakfast at Tiffany's, man. That's the one thing they've got. Like, let me read these super chats real quick. Cal Vask, $10 super chat.
This is a spoiler.
Oh, well, let's say spoilers then.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna need to jump into that straight away anyway. So just imagine I've got a big spoiler alert sign. I still need to make that. $10 super chat. He says, I was really hoping it was going to be Hope Summers. Hence why no one had heard of her and no records. She's from the future. Also, I feel like Jean's breakdown was an ideal place to introduce MCU Xavier. I kind of agree with that second part. So we're just jumping all straight away into the rumors were true from months ago. We in fact have Jean Grey in this movie, and not only is she in the movie, she's kind of the bad guy. Okay, that's really counterintuitive. It's such an odd, bizarre choice that your villain of your Spider-Man movie is going to be Jean Grey. In fact, let me just speak to the super chat, and then we'll go down that rabbit hole, because I have a lot to say about that. But when he says ideal place to introduce MCU Xavier, I was real surprised that she just gets on a bus at the end and that's it. I don't know if you guys had that, but I was thinking, I don't know, like 20 minutes after we knew for sure it was her, I was like, well, the way this is going to end is she's going to go find some major X-Men character that we know that's going to mentor her or make friends with her, and it's probably going to be like pre-Xavier school. Like, I bet that's not set up yet, but maybe it'll be some sort of precursor to that. Like, I don't know who it would be. I was thinking probably not Xavier, given that he's going to be in Doomsday, so we're not going to introduce the new version of him. Like, this is probably why they didn't contrive a way to bring Famke Jensen back, who seems a little bit miffed that she's not in Doomsday. Like, well, like they did her here, so they're probably not gonna do that. But I was surprised that we didn't see her go to any particular other X-Men characters.
I'm not, just because that would have leaked, or there would have been rumblings about it, and there just weren't. So that wasn't even really on my mind. So I think, and it's the same thing. I think why we didn't cast a new Xavier here. It's like, well, we're getting Patrick Stewart in Doomsday, so that'll be the focus. I do think Sadie Sink will probably be back in Secret Wars, along with maybe some of the X-Men casting. So maybe we'll get it there.
I was pretty sure that was
I think the very
confirmed.
next movie will be X-Men.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was pretty, yeah.
It gives you an Omega level mutant with, obviously world-ending powers that you can use in any way you want to, and possibly as a Deus Ex Machina, because everybody hates Captain Marvel, so they're not going to keep doing things with her. So if you wanted to, you could use Jean Grey instead of her for pretty much anything you wanted to.
Yep.
So there is that. But even if we didn't cast somebody, she could have just, like, walked up from that bus to somebody's house that like has their name on it. Like, there was a way to do that without it leaking. And so I was surprised that there was no nod to anything going to the future with her. We play really coy with the mutant and X-Men stuff, where, like, the word mutant is never said. Like if you didn't know who Jean Grey was, this could be any superpowered character in the Marvel Universe. Like, we don't, to this day, even though we now have broached X-Men stuff, we broached mutant stuff, we don't actually know how she got her powers. We don't know if mutants in this universe are naturally born or not. I want to assume they are, but we don't actually know that. I mean, you remember for years I've been theorizing how exactly are we going to introduce mutants in this universe, because they up till recently haven't been around, and so it would be weird to just suddenly say, oh yeah, and by the way, there's this whole society of people with superpowers, but there's been no rumblings about like social politics with that. It would be weird to just all of a sudden go, oh, and by the way, there's this huge uproar about mutants and humans hate and fear them, but we've never heard about this for almost 20 years. Like, okay, so are we gonna find out that the mutant thing just kind of just started somehow? Is it gonna come out of some sort of mad science or something? Because there's a line in the flashback that she has to her sister where she says, "Mom used to love us, but then we changed," and that could go perfectly in line with what we usually do with X-Men, because your powers don't always show up until you're a teenager. So that doesn't actually tell us anything, but it could be something different. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they have name dropped mutants in a couple of places, like the Miss Marvel show. I think they refer to her as a mutant, or like a mutation.
Well, we
so,
say mutation here, not to describe people, but just to say, like, Spider-Man has a mutation, she has a mutation. Like, they're laying the groundwork for it. But it's odd that the bad guy that runs damage control never just comes right out and says, oh, they're mutants. Like, it makes me wonder if he knows. Like, is the idea of mutant a thing yet? Like, in the public, or even secretly with government operations? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm gonna guess they're not, or like it's not a super well known thing yet, and that maybe it is just young people have just recently started
Young
manifesting their powers.
people.
Those youngins. But yeah, I don't know. I just have a wait and see attitude with all that stuff.
I mean, me too, but I'm just surprised it didn't go a little bit further than it did, especially given that this does seem like, and I got to be honest with you, I have reservations about it because of this. I I can't decide how I feel about the Jean Grey choice. Just overall, I think I think the actress is really good. I think the what it does for Peter's character arc is pretty good. Ultimately, we've got finally in the first in 5 years another Spider-Man movie. The last one was all villains you've seen before from different franchises, and no Spider-Man villain here. You know, I mean, they're there's so many either cool villains we've not done yet or ones that we could do better. And I'd love to see MCU's version of some of the villains from other franchises that they'll probably never do because they seem to have this this mandate or just this attitude of, well, if you've seen it on screen already, we're not going to do it. And so like you're never going to get MCU's Green Goblin. And so now it's just like Austin said this to me privately. I agree with him. Yeah, it kind of watches like they think they're out of villains. Like we just don't have any anymore. So it's either that or it's just the strategy of we know a lot of people are going to see this movie. They're right. They were right about that. Our next big saga is the mutant saga. So synergy. We gotta set that up here. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like just taking the movie as a movie, it works okay, but I'm seeing the business in it. Also,
That's fair. For me, the choice totally worked. And of course, you know, there are plenty of Spider-Man comics where he goes up against other people's villains or crosses over with other characters.
Yeah, sure, but you also got Spider-Man monthly, so you still most of the time got his villain. You're talking about a franchise where he's got to have a team up with another Marvel superhero in every movie.
Yeah.
Even some of his villains we've played like they were kind of Iron Man villains first, like Mysterio.
Yeah, I don't. Just speaking for myself, I won't have a problem with it until we just see what the next movie is. Like, if this is the formula now, where each movie it's going to be him going up against some other threat from some other corner of the Marvel universe, we can't just let a Spider-Man villain be the main villain. Then yeah, that'll annoy me. Like that'll bug me if that becomes a pattern. But as far as this movie is concerned, I was fine with that choice. The story they told worked for me.
Okay. It's frustrating to me, and like I said, it it works okay. I mean, it's better than I would have expected. But part of what's frustrating to me too is, and this is more on the other movies, is we just didn't do anything like enough with the high school years, and now he's grown up, and the first movie out, he's not even fighting one of his own villains, and you also have all of this other MCU stuff in it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so now, ironically, it also in some ways is the most Spider-Man of these, besides Homecoming. Because at least he is like street level and working by himself. Like, yeah, Punisher is in and out, but it's not that mentor relationship thing where somebody's got to kind of come in and hold his hand. Um, or like a straight up partnership. So I don't know. Like obviously you can tell I'm a little conflicted about it. But I would like it a lot more if Far From Home and No Way Home had just done more legwork with the character. Um, so that so anyway, that's where I'm sitting with it.
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
With it. Jean Grey is my least favorite X-Man. That is a hot take for you. She just is. And so I thought doing a take for Jean Grey where she's not even in that league and she's just like playing her like she's a Spider-Man villain. I loved that.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't Jean Grey to me, and that's what I liked about it. I don't know. I didn't think of her as Jean Grey. I thought of her as and I thought her power worked really well as just a Spider-Man villain power. And so it was just like, it felt like the setup to her felt like the setup to Mysterio done better. Because I thought I was having a lot of Far From Home in how, we kind of get to Jean Grey.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
She's really good in it. So
it's the most I've ever cared about Jean Grey.
Exactly.
On the big screen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with Jason. I liked how the power was visualized. And I like how we start with she can body hop into other people's minds, and that is like a very specific thing she can do. And then at the end, she gets kind of an upgrade and gets closer to the Jean Grey we're more familiar with the different telekinetic powers. So that stuff I thought was really cool. And I buy the conceit that it's like his spider sense that keeps her out, and why it needs to be him.
Is that what it's supposed to be? It's because
that was my read on it.
Spider sense?
That was my read on it.
Okay, well, that's not talked about, so you could be right, but you could just as easily be wrong. I didn't love that because it's not explained, and it seems like he just has protagonist powers. That's how Asa described it. I also agree with that. I kept waiting for some kind of a pseudoscience explanation for it that either he would figure out or he and Banner would figure out together or something. And it's just the story really needs him to if she can get in his head, then the movie's over. I mean, that's really the reason she can't get in his mind. And so you've got to contrive it better. In such a way where it doesn't feel so contrived. If it is spider sense, you got to tell me that. Even then, I don't get why. I had this thought the second time I watched it. Tell me if you had this. I don't like. You're right. I don't get. She can't control Peter.
Yeah.
But she can control another telepath. That's weird. Because her sister can get in her mind, and they both have the same power. But Peter's immune. That's weird.
Honestly, I had no clue what was happening there when her sister got in her mind.
Yeah, well, the same thing that happens to everybody else. She gets...
No, I know, but I was like, why did she do that? Why did we need to see that?
Because she was trying to save her so she didn't get caught by damage control?
Yeah, but then...
That's why.
I don't. It lasts 5 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah, just watch it again.
I know. That's what.
But yeah, she get her sister gets in her head as she's being kidnapped, and then we cut very quickly to she's already left, and Jean doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because that's we get in her POV, and that's how the mind hopping thing has worked for everybody else. Is MJ talks about that where it's instantaneous. It's you get controlled and you don't remember anything that happens during it, and then immediately you're someplace else.
Right.
And so they visualize that.
But how did she leave?
What do you mean? How did she leave?
Or how did her sister get out of her? If was it just because she was too far away?
Yeah.
But that's not how that works. Right?
Well,
it doesn't just go straight back to the person.
She wouldn't have any reason to keep controlling her sister.
Okay. Because I thought...
Well, she might have if she could bring her sister to her to help.
I'm sorry,
I guess she could have done that.
Because I get confused way too easily with first watches of movies. I thought there was a reveal there, and she had been controlling Jean the entire time, and that's why she was evil. So that's why it was really confusing to me.
Oh, you thought you thought her sister was controlling her?
Yeah, the entire movie. I thought that was the whole thing.
Oh.
That's why I was confused.
So you must have been really shocked when it turned out she's dead.
I know. Yeah. Exactly.
Robert, am I? Maybe I'm wrong about that. But if you can mind hop, and so your range doesn't matter like it would if you just tried to jump to another person, I would think once you're in a person, if you got driven away really far, you would still stay in that person's head. I think I was with what I said a minute ago, I'm probably wrong about that. You probably could actually hang on to that.
I assume the connection would be severed at some point, but I don't know. I got nothing. As for how could she control Jean, I guess Jean's just the younger one and is not as far along in her powers at that point. So yeah, I didn't question that.
I
In the
don't think I
movie.
would have questioned it except Spider-Man's immune. That's what's weird about it to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because he's Spider-Man. Because he's
Yeah,
Tom Holland.
because his name's in the title. Anyway, let's finish addressing that $10 super chat, and then we'll hit these other ones and talk some more about Jean Grey and all of that. He said he was hoping it would be Hope Summers. That wouldn't work just because it's not a reveal for the audience. You can't get halfway into your. It's already weird enough that your big reveal for your villain, your Spider-Man movie, is not even a Spider-Man villain. Like, if you don't know she's in it, you're sitting there the whole time going, gee, what Spider-Man villain do I know that possesses people? And then you're like, I can't really think of one. Like, there's not a lot of Spider-Man villains that do that. And then it turns out that it's not even a Spider-Man villain. So if it was Hope Summers, can you imagine if they read it's Hope Summers, and then like 98% of the audience is like, who the hell is that?
Jean.
So I get why, as a fan, that might be cool. Like, with what you said about her being from the future, and he says no one's heard of her and no records. Like, yeah, like it could have worked story-wise.
Yeah, that's
but
the other thing.
It wouldn't excite anybody.
That's the other thing too, is nobody's heard of her. Like
that's kind of the problem. Yeah.
But to what Jason was saying earlier, though, about there being some Far From Home in this, in some ways I thought this was Far From Home done better. But also, like, there are those plot points, like Spider-Man starts working for damage control, and then, oh no, they're actually the bad guys. There's a conspiracy angle, like that's very Far From Home with Mysterio and all that. And the only part, and again, it's what I'll say as an actual criticism of this movie. It just didn't bother me. It's for me, it was very predictable. Like yes. I could see where everything was going with every new development. For like, yes, Metzger is an obvious villain, and the actor just plays the same character in the show Severance, which is a great show, by the way. But that was amusing. But the part I couldn't believe in the damage control scene, this is a really bad exposition, and I did not think the movie needed this. It's Spider-Man's like looking around, meeting all these people at damage control, and then the hand goes up, and he's like, "Oh, hello, Spider-Man! Look, I reformed the hand, and they work for me now. They're totally cool." And I'm like, no, they're not. They're clearly evil. Spider-Man shouldn't be surprised by this.
The biggest...
Oh, no, we're supposed to trust damage control when they're working with hand ninjas. And then at the end, like in the third act, it's supposed to be this big shocker that he's... and especially with his whole speech about how... they like damage control is all about like reforming and reworking like people with powers to be like productive members of society. I'm like, that's not ominous at all. Like, we know what that means. Like, they just sound like Weapon X
also,
or something.
What is the hand doing there? In the Spider-Man movie? Like,
yeah, well,
that's even worse than Jean Grey, but...
So, because it's so random. So, so here's the thing. God, where do I start with this? I'm going to talk out of both sides of my face with a, like, I already have with a couple of things probably where, like, I like this and I don't like this. I like kind of all of the different pockets of the Marvel Universe that we've got talking to Spider-Man. If only, like I said, our movies up to this point had done more character work with him and had felt at least a couple of them more just straight up standalone Spider-Man movies, but at least the actual Spider-Man action and his working alone and all of that feels very standalone Spider-Man. So I mean, that's good. So it feels like an 80s Spider-Man comic because we were just constantly doing that. It's like this issue, the Punisher shows up, and then next issue he's dealing with Daredevil, and so you have every corner of the Marvel Universe represented that's street level. So nothing cosmic, but everything on the ground in New York you've got. You've got a bit of Daredevil with the hand. I don't know why, but it's there. You got the Punisher, so that's that kind of like darker, like, I don't know if I want to say Midnight Suns, but like, that kind of area. There's nothing mystical, but you got that more rough and tumble side. And then you have X-Men, and then you have Avengers, and represented both old and new Avengers with Yelena and with Hulk. Yeah. So it's kind of fun that you've got all those different elements, but some of them are just weird D20 rolls. Like, I get why the Hulk is here. Like you guys said, I think he ultimately kind of feels like the story could have easily been told without him. Like, I get what he does thematically with nature and with metamorphosis and change and all of that. And like Banner's discussion with him kind of gets him to the next place in that arc, but I still feel like he could have gotten there without him pretty easily. But anyway, I get why you would choose that character for getting the execution of it. The Hand, like who?
Yeah, but that fight's so cool.
Who in the audience?
It's a really good fight.
Like how many But then that fight's weird because it's Jean Grey controlling them too.
Yeah. You got Jean Grey controlling the Hand fighting Spider-Man.
Austin asked me about that. He was like, "So does it make sense that they would fight like exactly like hand ninjas if they're being full on controlled by a telepath?"
Yes.
And I was like, well, I guess you could telepathically get in their brain and just do suggestion as opposed to actually physically controlling them, like you're using your brain with their body.
Well, and
like,
also,
I figure you just get in their head and you'd go, okay, kick Spider-Man's ass, and they would do it the way they do that.
No, but also she reads their minds.
Well, right, but that doesn't mean that she would have like the same ability as they do to fight that well, just because she's reading their mind, like.
And there would also be like the muscle memory component.
Yeah.
So maybe all that I think is fine.
So going back to damage control, the funniest thing that I have that I thought was really weird with the damage control scene is Peter asks him like, what is VMAX? And he's like, I don't know, no clue. And then it's like, and then you find out what VMAX is, and he didn't actually. Nobody would have known what that is.
He didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So that was so weird.
But like, that's sort of a cool fake out, except it still amounts to the same thing, which is he's got evil secrets. Yeah. Like, it's not a surprise when it turns out that he's kidnapped, Sarah Summers. But yeah, the reason the Hand are there is because your bad guy is an evil corporation. Like, or sorry, an evil government entity. Like, that's why they're there. Spider-Man needs somebody cool to fight. Like, you've got Jean Grey who's just controlling people, and she's not going to have any fisticuffs herself. And everything she does is mental. And then you have, like, bad guy in a suit that does experiments on mutants because they're basically a Weapon X. And, like, he needs somebody cool to fight. So they introduced the Hand Ninja at the start so that he's got somebody cool to fight. And we even get a glimpse of him having already fought them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying it would be that much better, but I would have played it as you set them up in the opening montage like they do, these are people Spider-Man has fought and dealt with, and then at the end of the movie you reveal, oh my god, the Hand has been working for damage control the whole time. Like, that's how I would have played it. Don't have the scene in the middle where it's like, look, they're just young people who needed guidance and we fixed them. And they're good now.
It's so weird because
don't question this.
Your average viewer is not even going to know who that is. It's like they really expect that you've watched not just the Disney Plus shows, but the Netflix shows that at one time were considered non-canonical, and now we're like Bernthal works because it's a fine introduction to that character. You don't like Jason's never seen
Punisher is a Spider-Man character.
Well, sure, but like. I don't think the movie has to go out of its way to tell us too much about who that is. It would have been nice if we got like a little into his backstory, just because if you've never seen the Punisher, he's a bit of a question mark. I mean, like, you can make some guesses. Okay, he's got a family that got killed. We kind of know that much. I would have maybe found a way to get a little more detail in there just for your general audience that has never experienced that character, but...
And selfishly, I have seen them rehash that for a better part of a decade now, and I'm like, thank God we didn't get into his backstory and motivation that much of this. So I was fine with that.
Yeah, but it's a
Um,
PG-13 movie for families, and a lot of families are seeing it because it made $1 billion opening weekend. So like, the kids aren't gonna know who that
I
is.
Sure, but we've also made enough of these movies that I think they know the general audience is more than accustomed enough to just understand, okay, there's different vigilantes and superheroes running around, and we don't need to get long backstories or explanations on them. Just, like people will roll with it,
I didn't
and I
say
mean, clearly
long.
it's working.
I just said another detailer. I didn't say long. But yeah, Senior
I
Six
mean,
Five.
what
Sorry, what did you say?
Well, what I did like with both him and new characters like Gene DeWolf, though, for me, I liked though that you felt an actual like 5 year passage of time where I appreciated that it's not Spider-Man meeting all of these characters for the first time. Like, okay, they met between movies, great. I think that's fine. I like that. I feel like actual time has passed since the last one.
No, that's great. That's actually really strong, and the MCU in general is not great at that.
Mhm.
So that was a vast improvement, and it's funny that 5 years have passed, both in this timeline and in real life. That's the exact amount of time that the blip happened, and this is handled better than that ever was. With what has been happening in the interim, what does the world look like now versus what it used to? Like how different are these characters? The maturity level in uh, particularly Peter and MJ is really cool. Like it feels very deliberate that we waited 5 years, even though I don't think they intended to take that long to get another one out.
Right.
It feels like a choice. Even if it's not, like it's cool. They both look a lot older. Like they've really passed that we still look like teenagers kind of years. They've both done a lot of work since then, and
Mhm.
you can tell in their performances, and like they were both wonderful in all three of those other movies, but now like they're both kind of world weary, which is what these I don't mean like they look depressed or anything. They look like adults, man. Like they look like they've lived some life. Like they look like they've had to move out of their parents' house and go do some things. And it's it's great. It's really strong.
And this is Zendaya's best performance.
She's so good.
She's so
Her
good.
stuff with the Punisher,
It's so good. And her
I
stuff
love those scenes.
and her stuff as Jean Grey is so good. Like that
Yes.
was one of the best sequences in the movie.
Yeah,
And for me, because like Sadie Sink is an actress I know really well from Stranger Things and a couple other things, so it's like it was kind of uncanny, like when that flip happens, like I could see Sadie Sink like through Zendaya's performance, even though we're watching Zendaya. It was very bizarre, but she really pulled that off.
yeah, she nails that scene. I bought it initially. I don't know if you did, but that was one of the places the movie actually did surprise me.
Oh yeah.
Where
Oh,
I really did think, at least at first, like for a bit, that it was MJ and that she was remembering Peter. Um, and usually I would really dislike a scene like that. Like there's on paper, there's kind of a like CW drama quality to it. You know what I mean? I
well, we don't drag it out, which is nice. That's one scene we're talking about.
Yeah, that helps too. But I but just kind of like jerking the audience around and making the drama uh too much about like, oh, is this relationship is going to happen again? Oh wait, no, it's not. Like that kind of thing. Um it's really well written, and it's really gut wrenching. Like, you know what? I don't want to get too personal. What it reminded me of is dreams I've had where I'm
Mm.
reconciling with people that I'm maybe not friends with anymore, or that I haven't seen in a long time and I kind of miss. And I don't think I'm ever gonna see again. And then I have this dream that feels very real, where like we're hanging out together and we're friends again. And then I wake up and, oh, that didn't wasn't real. It didn't actually happen. It conjured that for me.
Oh.
So I don't know.
I didn't.
Kind of spoke to me a little bit.
I didn't call that twist, but I was relieved when it happened because I was resisting that scene. I was like, oh no, this is too easy. I don't like this choice. Oh, thank God.
But let me ask you this:
to Peter's character.
Well, and then I really like that that Jean as her is like, yeah, that's a magic kiss. Like, that's so stupid. Of course, that's not what's actually happening. And like, I like that the movie is above that. Until you get to the end with Ned, and then it seems like it is that. I don't understand that. Like, all they had to do is have him go in and say, I'm Peter, and he's like, oh, hi. And they, no, that Peter, because he already knows that Spider-Man's name is Peter. Oh, Peter! That's all that scene had to be. But no, they had to do the handshake thing. And the handshake thing says, he got his memory back somehow, but we've already been told that's not how this works.
No, again, this is another this is a point that Robert made earlier. It's just muscle memory, and you can just excuse that.
No, you can't. No, you can't though.
Yeah, but like, why?
Because if he's ever done that handshake with somebody else, that could be muscle memory.
Yeah.
He can't know who Peter is. That's not how the spell works.
Yeah, but he's done it.
Right.
He's done the handshake.
Yeah, so
but he knows who Peter is because of the handshake. The spell eliminated the memory of that person. It didn't work. If that worked, the kiss thing would work with MJ, and it didn't. So no.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with the handshake as just muscle. I'm curious how that scene was written versus what we got on screen, because I'm fine with the handshake like being muscle memory. But
nobody can't then look at him and go, Peter. He can't know who that is.
I want it to be clear that when he says Peter, he's like, it's what you suggested, Cap, of, oh my God, you're Spider-Man. Like, that's what I want that scene to be, but it plays like, oh, I remember you now, which doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. So, like, I have to agree with both of you guys. Like, there's a version of that ending that really works for me. I just don't think they quite
If it's what you're suggesting, though, that's so convoluted. Like, just as a scene, that, like, you can't communicate that to an audience. Like, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just left the handshake out. Like, if that's what it was.
I want it to work because, that is a thing that's been present since Homecoming, and I like that visual. I like the visual side of that, but I want the scene to work. And I can't fix it.
And I love that it ends not with a big Spider-Man swinging in the city scene or something like that. Like, I love that with the, with the message and everything of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's just the way they handled that scene is not great.
Well, the final shot of the movie being Peter smiling is great, and like Cap said, it's the period on like, oh, this is a feel good movie. Like things work out for him by the end. So like I like that side of it.
Well, it's no surprise that that's going to work. It didn't need to be the last thing in the movie because, like, as Spider-Man, they're already bonding really hard and acting like best friends. So when MJ says, hey, you should tell him he can handle it, I was surprised that he didn't, like, shortly thereafter, that they save it for the end. I think if you want to end on that note, a much stronger ending would have been he goes and asks MJ out for coffee or something. She says yes. It should have been about her, I think, and not Ned.
And I disagree. I like that we make the friendships more important than the romance. That was a choice that I actually really enjoyed.
Well, I mean, I do too, but I think that's a place where go ahead and tease the audience a little bit at the end, because I don't want to be yo-yoed with them. I don't want to find out that we're going to just keep that platonic. Like, all roads are leading to they're going to get back together. They need to do that as quickly as they can. And if they keep it platonic, I'm not going to be happy with that personally. That's just a me thing. But like we have done that. Like I said, we've done that to the, call me a fanboy or whatever. We've done that to the comic audience for 30 years. With Peter and Mary Jane, and you broke them up for no good reason last time, like a One More Day, and I think you put it back together and you put them back together and you kind of live with that as a misstep and you move on. Now, could I be won over on they're just going to do a platonic thing with them? If they don't tease them getting back together, I can live with it. I'm sure it'll be like they're good together. I'm sure it'll be fine. I personally don't want that. I think he gave her every reason in this movie to fall back in love with him very easily.
Because I like the scene a lot where she says, "Look, like I don't love you, I don't know you." Like
Yeah,
those experiences.
and then the
she
next
had
thing
with
that
him in high
happens
school.
is she says, "Come up and meet Ned," and then they
Mhm.
spend a good amount of time together, and now they're getting to know each other, right? And like I don't want to make the sappy soulmate mate argument, but like they are kind of too good for each other. I think if they spend enough time together, she just would fall in love with him.
Mhm. I'll meet you halfway in that. Like I want them to pick a lane in the next movie. I'm fine with them being completely platonic moving forward. Just bring in another love interest and explore that, or like you want, just get them back together in the next movie. I just want them to pick a lane, but I'm personally fine with either in
Well,
the next
I don't mean
movie.
to act like a clairvoyant and I know everything, Robert, but if they don't put them back together, I swear to God, they will not replace her with another love interest. They'll just never have him date anyone.
I mean, you could be right. I hope not. I mean, like, I hope they put Black Cat in the next movie. Like, I wanted her in
Yeah.
this one. We didn't do that. I still think the door's still open to that. That we could still do that in the next movie.
Well, that would be the thing to do if they're going to keep them separate, or if they're going to keep them separate for a while, and then maybe rekindle it in 3, but like, or 6, or however you want to put it. But like, I don't. Anyway, I didn't like that they did this in the first place, so I'm wanting them to salvage it. And again, this was handled way better than I thought it possibly could be. But
I just appreciated that it wasn't too easy.
I wonder
and
if
that they
this is a
didn't-
hot take.
I don't think.
I
You
don't
have, to,
know.
you have to tell me what the audience is saying.
No, everybody's wanting
problem-
Black Cat, so
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Again, both sides of my face. I also want Black Cat, and it is harder to do something fun with her, like coming on to Peter if he is in a real committed relationship. So I get
Felicia.
So I get that.
And this is where evil Sony is a problem, because if they want to still make that stupid solo Black Cat movie, then that's not going to happen, and that's annoying.
They won't.
And
At this point, they won't make that. Like Rothman recently
don't
came
know.
out and said we've given up on the spin-offs. So
and
if we can
and
trust
that, I mean, no need to dwell on it, but like
Yeah.
obviously that affected Tom Holland's run too,
yeah,
where it was like, well, we can't do Craven and some of these other villains because they have to have their own movies, and then look how that turned out. So that absolutely negatively affected Tom Holland's run,
fair
where we
enough.
couldn't just let Craven be a villain.
Didn't
in
stop
one
him
of
from
his
doing
movies.
Hobgoblin. Didn't stop him from having their own Green Goblin.
Yeah, I mean, I also want Hobgoblin. I think Hobgoblin in the next one would be great. But as for like the MJ romance, that was something I was never a big fan of in Far From Home, just because it was too easy. Like I felt like we went too far. Like we learned the wrong lessons from the earlier movies of like, okay, we don't want annoying drama and these characters hating each other. They're just very in love, and there's no tension and there's no drama with that relationship. They're just very in love for 2 movies, and then that's taken away from them at the end of the last one. So for me personally, I think their dynamic in this movie is like the most interesting it's been in a long time. So like I said, I was fine with all that.
Okay. Well, I hear what you're saying. I also think that you can develop that dynamic into a better romance. But anyway, Senior Sticks, $5 super chat. It is safe to say that Banner and Connors are interchangeable as characters, which is why a Hulk trilogy can never really work straightforward. So you can't make a Hulk trilogy because he's too much like Kurt Connors.
Makes sense to me.
Those are very different characters. They
Yes.
have obviously similarities in that they're scientists that turn into big
green
monster creatures.
people.
One of them starts with a family that's real important. One of them has a missing limb, which gives him his motivation for accidentally turning into the lizard. Banner starts from different place. He's not experimenting on himself. It's an accident. Like like both of them are pretty different.
Yes, but for the sake of this
MCU
movie,
Banner does experiment on himself though.
Oh yeah, I guess he does.
But for the sake of this movie, you could have had either one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with
Yeah.
this movie. I'm just saying, answering
Yes.
the actual super chat, I don't really understand why a Hulk trilogy can't happen because he's too much like the Lizard.
Well, that just awakened a memory. Remember when Ragnarok was coming out and Ruffalo referred to him getting like a trilogy of sorts from Ragnarok to Infinity War to Endgame, which I mean, I guess it's kind of right.
Oh, you're right.
but
He does
it
experiment
wasn't
on
good.
himself. Sorry, I had to go all the way back to Incredible. I'm sitting here trying to remember that movie. You're right.
Yeah, this is a Super Soldier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's a lot of movies. Go ahead.
So
Yeah, I don't know. And we don't that is a character where I'm like, boy, I hope you recast him after Secret Wars and do interesting stuff.
You know what?
Like, we just don't know what to do with him anymore.
Ruffalo is the reason to do a soft reboot, just all by himself.
Wow.
I hated him in this, like full stop.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
I thought he was god awful. I'm sorry. And to the commenters that say, Jason, what are you talking about? His like thematic and plot reasons for being there are totally clear.
Thematic, yes. Plot reasons, absolutely not.
No, it works better on a second viewing.
Does it?
It does. He does. So first time out, I thought that he just kind of nodded his head and said, yes, theoretically that could work over and over again. I missed the bit where he gives like a real exposition for how Peter can make the universal inhibitor thing work. They do use specific lingo between them that gets him there.
Yeah, but it still felt like it was just confirmation.
Not a second time. It was a little bit more than confirmation.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, he wouldn't have quite. Theoretically, he wouldn't have quite gotten there without that conversation. But if you didn't write that character in, you could have written it to where he totally figures that out on his own.
Right.
On his own. There's that. And then the other reason he's there is you get to the end of that scene and he's trying to make Peter like question whether he should be like mucking with science the way he is.
Yeah.
And suggesting that like what he's doing is maybe kind of playing God a little bit.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is there's not enough of a consequence to that because the consequence that was supposed to be there, they wrote out because they were afraid it would scare children. Because it was supposed to be Man-Spider. And that's the reason that's my worst thing, is that all roads are leading to Man-Spider. And it could have worked, and it could have been really good. And you still could have gotten to the exact same place you do at the end, where it's just he's trying so hard to not move to his next stage of development. And obviously the subtext there is he's not moving on in his life, right? And if only he would embrace the genetic changes that are happening with the spider, it would all work out. Now I don't know how exactly you know that. It could have just as easily been a scary, terrible mutation that you want to force down. It just happens that it doesn't go that way. It is kind of weird to use the Hulk because he's intentionally keeping his monster at bay, but also saying, well, how do you know that the changes that you're talking about? He doesn't know he's talking to Spider-Man. Like aren't, you know, are a bad thing. Like, how do you know that? I'm like, well, yeah, but you are intentionally inhibiting the Hulk. Like, he gets kind of lucky that it works out that way, and that it is just like a supposedly good next stage. But Peter could just, like, in trying to force it down and that not working, the chip breaks, and then the mutation goes way farther than it's supposed to, and then somehow or rather, like, you'd probably have to use Bruce Banner for this part, but like somehow or rather, he levels it out and stabilizes it, and now it's what the next stage was supposed to be, but like not the monster, which is, by the way, what the Six Arms thing is. With Man-Spider in at least the 90s animated series. I forget if the comics do it exactly the same way, but he's trying, he's using serums, and he's trying so hard to not mutate that he accidentally makes a crazy mutation happen
Yeah.
that goes way too far.
Yeah.
This could have done that.
But
and then at the end, you just bring it back to the stage it was before, and now he's still got his new webbing and new powers. And
but also with the mutation that he does, it acts too much like a symbiote.
Like a symbiote.
Yeah, because he goes crazy and he has the white eyes and
He has black eyes.
Yeah. Sorry, the black eyes, and he goes all Spider-Man 3, and it's like
He doesn't go full tilt Spider-Man 3.
He does for like a couple minutes, but it's like I don't know. It feels weird that you went there and not Man-Spider. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like the big scene is when he smashes that cop car with Scorpion and he almost kills a cop. It's like, oh my god, I lost control.
Oh yes, that bit is kind of like
yeah,
okay,
yeah. And to Jason's point, it did make me think like, yeah, it would be weird to do the black suit in the very next movie because it would feel too much like retreading ground here. But I'm with you that the Man-Spider stuff would have been cool, and it feels like that's where we're going, and then we don't. I don't want to give this movie too much praise for just not doing stuff, but it was relief, like, because, I mean, just in the long wait for this movie, people were like, oh god, is Morlun going to be in this thing? Are we going to do Spider Totem? Are we doing the Spider God? And very relieved we're not doing any of that crap, so that gets 2 big thumbs up from me, that it is all science.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because on first viewing, I forgot all about this because I've seen it again now. I was so relieved, like you said, about all the stuff that's not in it. Because not knowing who the villain was, I was like, if they're doing the spider mutation thing, like maybe it's gonna be Morlun, where he's like going around trying to find the spider totems. It's not that. It's not Mr. Negative. Like it's not any of the stuff that I was afraid they'd do.
And again, and that was another thought of mine too. Like, okay, we are gonna get what we want in the next movie, where we're gonna finally get like a main Spider-Man villain as the main threat again, and then it'll be Mr. Negative or something.
Yeah,
like that. Like we'll see what happens.
Then we'll be like, oh, just give us another X-Man then. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess beggars can't be choosers.
I'm just saying there are a lot of monkey's paw scenarios where I'm not happy with what we do next. Like, for example, I want Hobgoblin. I don't want Ned to be Hobgoblin, but if we do that, I'm gonna be very annoyed.
That's a place where I'm gonna meet you in the middle and say I wanted Ned to be Hobgoblin, but you have to build to that, and we haven't. So
we haven't. Yeah.
Because I think it could have worked. It really bugs me, but you'd have to start seeding it by the second movie. You know what I mean? Like he's got to be a Harry Osborn, and we've given him like really nothing to work with, but like no sort of pathos or anything. He hasn't had any like family tragedy. We don't know really anything about his background or home life. I mean, like he basically just seems like that kid that like perpetually lives at a in like D&D sessions.
Oh,
you know,
crazy
like
idea.
you never know anything about the guy. He just shows up every week. You know, it's like that.
Next movie, Ned gets the symbiote, and he becomes Hobgoblin that way.
Wait, a symbiote?
Yes,
Hobgoblin?
symbiote Hobgoblin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my idea.
That's as likely as Hope Summers.
Yep, and then you have and then you have Shocker come back, and then you have Ned saying,
Shocker come back,
and then you have Ned being like, you can't escape me. I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. And then Tom Holland's just like, what?
Why did you say that?
Yeah, that'll be great.
And then the Rhino's in it.
Yeah, and then he's like, I am the Rhino.
Yeah, and then Hobgoblin, then symbiote Hobgoblin picks up the Rhino, sticks him in the ground by his horn, and spins him around a bunch of times until he tells him what he wants to know.
Yeah, and then Zendaya's Carnage, and she just goes, man.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm gonna be unhappy if the next movie isn't exactly what you just described.
I know. I'm gonna be really upset.
It has to have all Zendaya as Carnage.
I mean,
she could do it too.
She totally would.
She's got range. She can do it. Senior Sticks, $2 super chat. Sony has its own properties, so why no Sony movies? There's another cryptic Senior Sticks super chat. I don't know what that means. It has its own properties. Why no Sony movies?
Because they're not good.
Like,
what do you mean by properties?
Does he mean like Sony's not making stuff that isn't related to Spider-Man?
I mean, they do.
I mean, yeah, like that's not true. Like, you got a new
saying like they have. I don't know. I have nowhere. I have no idea where to start with that, Senior Sticks. I apologize, man. I need more context. I don't know what that means. And I mean, they're not making more of those villain movies because they didn't.
Thank God.
Because the audience didn't like them. I don't get why it took them so long to finally abandon that.
Oh, I'm so glad it did.
And I think if they decided to make more Venom movies, they'd keep making them.
Yeah. I wish they had stopped right before Venom: The Last Dance. That's what I thought. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, I wish they had stopped before. Well, I know why you're saying that, because you and Austin, with your bizarre love for Madam Web, I'll never understand that.
And me.
It's funny.
And yes,
it's funny, but I didn't. But at what twisty cost?
Oh, that is the best. That's the best superhero movie of the decade.
Oh, I kind of liked that line. At what cost? What's your deductible? That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
That was one of Ned's better lines. Joel Davis, $5 super chat. Thoughts on the movie possibly beating Endgame's box office? Endgame box office wise, many in my circle are saying this is as good as a Raimi Spidey movie. Well, it's as good as the worst Raimi Spider-Man movie.
That's just not true. I think it's better than that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, when he said it's as good as, like, it's better than Spider-Man 3. I don't know if it's better than 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think it's better than at least 1.
Yeah, like you said, Kat, like...
If I have to compare them, I don't know if I would put it even above 1. But, yeah. Sorry, Robert.
I don't know if I'd use the word polarizing to describe this movie, just because I've heard hardly, like, there's always going to be people who say this, but I've heard hardly any, like, this is the worst Spider-Man movie ever made, this movie's horrible. Like, I've heard so little of that it's, like, not of note. Like, it's more split down the middle of people saying, like, mixed bag, to this was brilliant, best Spider-Man movie, and I know that's very strange for me. You don't see that a lot. Like, there's some things I've heard, like you said earlier, recency bias, that, yeah, I just don't agree with. Like, I think this is the best looking of Tom Holland's movies, but is this the best looking Spider-Man movie ever made? In my opinion, no.
I think in places it's the most visually arresting.
Yeah, and then it's different.
Not that everything looks great.
No, there's plenty of mediocre CGI throughout this, but not the worst we've seen. Like, this looks a lot better than, like, the worst.
Oh, no, and I'm not taken out real hard until toward the end. There's a couple shots in the big fight with the hand ninja that look like Tom Holland's not even there, and that look like as cartoonishly rendered as some of that, like, early, like Spider-Man 2 CG with Spider-Man fighting Doc Ock falling. Like, we always talk about how that was the best it could look then, but it's not great. There was a shot at the end of this that looks like that to me, but most of the movie is not like that. I'm sorry.
Can I point out? I forgot to talk about this earlier. The directing is great. The editing is not great. Like in places especially towards the beginning, I thought there were some weird things in the montage where it cut weird, and I'm like, whoa. But I pay more attention to that than I maybe should.
It reminded me of the opening of Fantastic Four: First Steps, where I couldn't always tell, like, okay, is this like a shot or a moment that was intended to be part of a montage, or was this like a full sequence we just hacked to bits and cut into a montage? I couldn't always tell.
Yes, I had that same question. I thought it was so funny First of all, just that the movie is being sold so hard on the hand ninja that like don't get a lot to do, and it's silly they're there in the first place, and then you get to the end, and yeah, he has a big fight with them that is really well choreographed. It's not even in the location all the posters have them, because that's just from that, like, 5-second shot in a montage that's in all the trailers that, by the way, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna pull an I told you so on this, because I heard a lot of people, when that trailer came out, that went, obviously Daredevil was brushed out of that shot and he's in the movie and they're hiding it. And I said, if you're gonna put Punisher in all the advertising, why on earth would you make Daredevil a big secret? Especially when you have a Daredevil show on and you can kind of play the synergy with that. Why is Punisher the thing you'd sell it on? And people went, and I argued with people about this, and folks said, well, they did it with the last one with the other Spider-Mans. I'm like, yeah, that's because that's like will be a big history breaking moment.
But like they didn't put Andrew Garfield in there and then be like, oh man, I wonder if Tobey Maguire is going to be in there. You know, they didn't do that.
That's true. They didn't do that either. But people were also like, well, look, they had trailers where, and this is true, where the other two Spider-Mans are in there, but they brushed them out, and all you saw was Spider. So obviously they did that with this. They did not do that with this, and not only did they not do it, but everybody thought that was going to be like a big climactic moment toward the end or something with Spider-Man and Daredevil and maybe Punisher, and you see it the first 5 minutes of the movie, and it's just part of the montage, and it's very funny. It made me laugh.
Also, I know you want to talk about Tombstone.
Sorry. I thought you were going to say Keith David, because that was the other thing.
About Keith David.
His voice is all over the last trailer, and then you had all this insane online speculation. Oh my god, who's Keith David going to be? The answer is no one. He is a voice. Why did they hire him for that? Why would you pay Keith? And I'm not saying that he's like an actor that commands a ton of money. Why would you pay even Keith David money for a voice explaining how spider mutation works?
Because it's Keith David.
It's so weird.
That's hilarious.
And it's in the. What's funny is they take that voiceover, right, and they put it in the trailer, and it's in like the main soundtrack. So
I thought that was hilarious.
So you're hearing it. And it sounds like it's really relevant, and it is kind of relevant to, like the spider mutation plot, and then you can read some thematic stuff in it. But in the movie, it's in the background. You can't even hear half of it. Like they didn't even put it in the main soundtrack. So like he's reading for the audience, so we can take something from it. It makes no difference that it's there. It's hilarious.
I did not see that trailer.
And then
That's really funny.
Peter's like, turn off that spider thing, please. It's making me uncomfortable. And I was like, no, let it keep going. I want to hear Keith David talking.
Oh,
But I'm sorry, Robert. Did you not see that trailer?
Oh, I did. I said you can hear that voiceover more clearly in the trailer than you can the actual movie.
That's what I'm saying, because they put it in the main soundtrack.
Yeah, like I didn't get my hopes up that he'd be like a really major character just because Keith David's pretty old. Like I assumed his part in the movie would be small. I didn't think it'd be that small.
You think it would be like not a part? It's not a part.
Oh well.
So funny. The two things I heard the most speculation about were nothing. Not anything. Anyway, but Joel Davis asked about our thoughts on this movie possibly beating Endgame at the box office. That would be wild history making stuff if it happened. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion yet, because I do think it's possible that too many people saw it opening weekend and that it will fall off some, not because it's bad, but just because. Here's the thing: in those two Avengers movies. Infinity War and Endgame had a lot of repeat business. I don't know that this will.
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't even need it at this point. It's already made $1 billion. It could have a 99% drop off in the box office on weekend 2, and it'll be fine because it's already made its money back.
How much well, no, obviously, but how much did Endgame make?
Endgame made over $2 billion, and I don't know if this will hit $2 billion. It doesn't need to.
No, obviously it doesn't
Certainly.
need to. It's just people are assuming it will because it did $1 billion opening weekend, which is unheard of. But again, I just don't think it's a foregone conclusion. It might not even be a
Right.
foregone conclusion that it does the same business the last one did.
Well, because the last one didn't hit 2 billion, but like it got really
Real
close.
damn close.
And overall, I don't know if this will make as much as that did, but we'll see.
If it does, that's pretty wild. Because
Yeah.
I don't mean to repeat myself too much, but like I liked it. It's not $2 billion good.
I disagree, but
Well, that's fine.
I honestly, I
had the same thing with Far From Home, which I think is okay. Like I don't hate like there's great stuff in that movie. Like I like the mysterious stuff, but
No, I
it
agree.
was weird at the
Overall, I'm at kind of a red sign flip with that now, but like there's the stuff I really like. I have turned on it some.
But I think we had the same thing at the time of like, okay, that only makes $1 billion because it's following Endgame, right? It was just weird that was the first Spider-Man movie to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
It was like, huh, okay, but I think we agree that only happened because it was following Endgame.
Yeah.
But
this doesn't have that because your theory about Doomsday could hold some merit. I'm not saying you're wrong, but we don't know that. We knew it for sure with Captain Marvel. We knew it for sure with Far From Home. We don't know that with this.
Also, what was the last MCU movie? Was that Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
How much did that make? Like
600?
Like 500 million, I think. I think it made like $500 million.
Oh yeah, no, it didn't even do as well as Superman.
Right. Yeah, Superman did more.
Well, and you know what? I meant to say this earlier too, and sorry, we're spending a lot of time speculating about box office. But the other thing, Robert, is only having 2 MCU movies this year helps it a bunch.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Because there's a bunch of time.
One yet this year.
Say again.
No, we haven't had one yet this year.
There's a bunch of so like they're whether they meant to or not, they're doing what I keep asking for, which is, I mean, make us wait a little bit. These things come out so often. Like give us some time in between. Fantastic Four didn't set the world on fire, but if you put a Spider-Man movie out 3 or 4 months after it, it wouldn't hurt the box office that much, but I don't think it would have done what it's doing right now, probably. Although, it being Spider-Man, I don't know that it really would have affected it that much. It's hard to say. Not having one at all probably does help it in the positive direction. And it helps that the last one that came out was not like A Brave New World or something.
Yeah.
You know,
because that really hurt.
Because again, people didn't like.
Absolutely.
Fantastic Four didn't set the world on fire, but like people didn't hate it either, except for Austin. But like most of the world
hates everything.
Hate that movie.
Well, and again, I don't think this will. This could be No Way Home. I'm gonna plant my flag and be proven wrong later. That this will not make as much as Endgame total. I don't think it will. We'll see. Maybe wrong about that. But
I think I agree.
What will help this have legs though is it doesn't have a lot of competition coming up in August or September. Like, I mean, End of Oak Street looks cool. I don't think it's going to set the world on fire. We'll see what happens.
No, we'll be lucky if that makes.
If that's profitable.
If that's I was going to say if it makes if that movie makes 300 million, it's doing really well.
Yeah,
and I don't know that it will, but that hopefully that's great and has a lot of word of mouth because it has, maybe it's out in the wrong year maybe it's out in the exact right year for this. I don't know. Being what it is, it has, and I'm not just saying this because it's an Abrams produced movie, but like it could have a Cloverfield thing. Like I don't think it would be on the same level as that, but like it is kind of that kind of movie where it's like,
yeah, it's got that
a
vibe.
weird thriller with early advertising that makes you go, what the hell is this?
Helps that there's not a Jurassic World movie out this year.
Yeah,
so
you can't put it in the same year as another dinosaur movie. But it also, like, it doesn't have the 65 thing where like the dinosaurs look good.
Yeah, well, that surprised me with the second trailer because with the first trailer, you still really weren't sure what the premise was, and I thought, okay, this is gonna be a weird sci-fi throw. There's probably like one dinosaur running around. I thought there was just gonna be one dinosaur running around as part of the movie. I didn't know it was a dinosaur movie.
It's Jurassic Park in a freaking neighborhood. They're everywhere.
Yeah,
you're gonna get all of them.
Man,
that was good.
It's a paleontology lesson, that movie. I wasn't expecting that.
Man, I gotta rewatch 65. I'm the only person on the planet that likes that movie.
I've seen it. I haven't seen it.
On the
I'll take your
planet.
word for it.
That's a hot take.
You should blind commentary it with Jason.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yay.
I love that movie.
Joel Davis, $2 super chat. No Way Home establishes Ned is magic.
Yeah,
help
that's
me
true.
Help me out with that.
Yeah. With he can make the portals with Doctor Strange.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's really stupid.
He's good at that for some reason.
So that's why
I'm
that
fine.
the
We
ending
didn't
scene
address
works.
That's why the ending scene works?
Yeah, in this, because he's magic.
You think that's why they did it?
Oh!
That's what Joel Davis is saying.
Oh.
Okay, I like that theory. The movie does not make that clear, but I do like that theory. That makes some.
Oh, I think that's
semblance of
stupid,
sense.
but I mean, it's
at least an
makes sense.
explanation.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it if they forgot they ever did that, like I just did, and never build on it. I completely forgot about that. So let me get this straight. No Way Home goes, hey, Ned, in other universes, you're a bad guy. Wait, what? I'm a bad guy? Oh, and also, you're really good at magic. Oh my god, I am! Two things that we might never do anything with. But maybe we are doing something with that. I don't think we can be sure that that's what it is and that it's not just a cute ending. There are so many examples of that with big movies, and particularly superhero movies, where you have a crazy surprise ending that makes audiences speculate like mad, and then the sequel does nothing with it, and then you come back to the director in a commentary or something, and he says, yeah, we just thought that was cool. We were never planning on doing anything with that. The end of Days of Future Past is like that, where like I was so taken in hook, line, and sinker with that. Like I was such a patsy with that because I've talked about this a lot before, but like I endlessly speculated about Mystique taking in Logan instead of his going into the Weapon X program and what that would do for their history. And then it turns out that we just flashed the eyes at the end because we did that in the first X-Men movie, and it was a cool thing to end on. That's the only reason we did it. And I was like, are you serious?
That was such a letdown.
Such a letdown.
I still love Days of Future Past. You just can't think about anything after.
It's like friggin' Force Awakens. I mean, it's not as bad as that, but it's, you know.
And that's still not even the worst thing about it. About Apocalypse.
Yeah. Well, and to compare those, A, in my opinion, Days of Future Past is a better movie than Force Awakens, and B, Days of Future Past was at least, at the time, an ending that wasn't necessarily, even with that tease with Mystique, like, there was still a degree of closure. Like, I don't know, like, Apocalypse's problems don't affect my viewing of Days of Future Past too much, but yeah, the Mystique thing's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I still really like that movie, but
Mystique things are always annoying.
The Mystique thing makes me sad. ManoTube, $20 Mexican peso super chat. Thank you. How will Spider-Verse rewind? Austin seizure live. Well, that was some gobbledygook, but
I'm
gonna try to parse it out. So what he's talking about, I don't understand that collection of words. I'm not good at jigsaw puzzles, you guys. But
Austin seizure live.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Like live on camera, he'll have a seizure, which would be great.
I like complete sentences. No, I appreciate the super chat. It was just hard to parse out. What he's talking about is that Austin claims to not be able to watch those movies because of like the frame rate and the animation, and they give him headaches. So like when we eventually do rewind commentaries on those, he just won't be there. That's the answer to that. It's not an interesting answer, but
we'll bring Robert on there.
I can bring Robert in.
Yeah, I do it.
ManoTube, thanks, man. $50 Mexican pesos. Yeah, I know she already played Catwoman in the Batman, but Chloe Grace Moretz would be a really great Black Cat. You shush, sir! You shut your mouth! I'm never going to live it down. Do you remember that, Robert?
Nope.
Oh, there was a place where I accidentally called Zoe Kravitz Chloe Grace Moretz, and I've never lived it down.
And now I know.
And that's what he's talking about. He's leaving super chats to make fun of us, and he's doing a bang up job of it. So I approve. Yeah, I agree. She'd be a great Black Cat. No, Kravitz would be a good Black Cat. even though she's already been Catwoman. I would not do that. I would not have her be both of the cats. But Chloe Grace Moretz would not be a good Black Cat. I like her. I do not see that. I'm not a fan casting guy. I don't at the moment with just, and I'm not keeping up well enough even, but like just with who's in Hollywood right now, I don't know. I don't know who you'd cast.
Samara Weaving was a fan cast for Black Cat, and now she's Emma Frost, which I think is great. So
That is good casting.
Can't complain.
But yeah. Joel
Zendaya.
Davis. Zendaya, but that'd be great. She plays both, and we just never
We just don't
call any attention.
Just put a wig on her, and then there you go.
And then the whole movie, and like they play coy, and and the audience is supposed to think that maybe it really is MJ the whole time. But then you get to the end of the movie, and they never address it. And she's Carnage too.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Joel Davis, $5 super chat. Doomsday already made $19 million in domestic pre-sales, and it's only selling tickets in 1,000 theaters as of now. Yeah, it's going to be huge, but keep in mind, it has to do giant numbers to even break even with how much money they've sunk into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I am very certain that movie will make at least $1 billion. I think people who say it won't hit $1 billion are nuts.
They are nuts.
But that doesn't mean it'll be profitable. You're right. It'll need to make like 1.5 billion probably just to break even.
With how much with how many actors they're paying, with how much they're paying Downey, with how much money they're putting into advertising, just the list goes on and on. We know they've put at least $1 billion into that movie. I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Do you? Well, I mean, like Deadpool and Wolverine's a movie where the reported budget was like somewhere from 200 to 300, and now we know it was more like 400 million.
Wow.
And I'm sure a lot of that was just to pay some of the people that are in that movie. And Doomsday, that's like triple,
at least, if not more.
At least.
Did you see all the chairs? Yeah, and I'll also go as far as to say Doomsday could actually do close to the opening weekend numbers this is doing. But
it's possible.
Now, it's hard to say at the time it's coming out. Like, will it do that in December?
And going up against Dune 3, and those are going to be... You're kind of splitting the audience with that.
Are they putting them out the same weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Doomsday.
That's
Doomsday.
Doomsday. That might be a mistake.
Maybe. I think with both of them, they're just banking on them having long legs. But I mean, my prediction is Doomsday will probably make more money than Dune 3 overall. Like, I don't even know if Dune 3 will make $1 billion, and it doesn't need to. Mm-hmm. But I do think Dune 3 will be more profitable.
So I just had this thought. Tell me if I'm crazy. Because this is one of those moments where I'm just saying the first thing that comes to mind, and it might be a really stupid thing to say. But I was going to say Spider-Man is smart to be out a couple of weeks after another giant movie with The Odyssey. That it's not so close to that it's having to split the box office too much, but it's like helping. It's kind of like one of those theatrical waves where it's like people are kind of excited to go to the theater right now, and so if you give them enough time, you put out something that they're also excited about, then they'll go to that too. Does it have anything to do with the fact that both of these actors are in both of these movies?
I mean, there's at least 3. Tom Holland, Zendaya, and John Bernthal.
Oh, yeah, Bernthal, too.
Both of those
but like, especially because the internet is on fire right now, and I don't look at a lot of social media, but every time I open Facebook, and I only open Facebook to look at Marketplace, but I'll see, some stuff in a feed, and I'll look at a few things, and then I'll go look at stuff on Marketplace and try to buy comics. But whenever I open Facebook right now, it's just nothing but reels with clips of the two of them at events and like how cute they are together. It's just that over and over again. The internet is like on fire about their marriage right now and how healthy it is. I'm not sure that's not a factor, folks.
We should have mentioned that earlier. That timing definitely helps.
Yeah.
Am I
No,
wrong
you're
about
right.
this?
Yeah.
Like they're both in the Odyssey. People, even if it's subconscious, people just saw them in a movie, and they might.
Dude,
yeah.
That press tour must have sucked for them though, doing these two big movies back.
Oh
to back.
yeah.
Must have been exhausting.
But it probably
Not as
helps.
bad as say thing.
But it probably helps that
Sure.
they're a married couple that actually likes each other and are traveling together, because that is harder if you're by yourself. Like they at
That's
least
true.
have each other on those press tours.
That's a good point. And I don't remember or know when they got married, but yeah, like it's not a coincidence that became public like this month or last month, whatever it was. That's
Oh,
not a
is that recent of news? I guess I didn't even realize that.
I thought so.
Yeah, thought so.
That's one of those
Yeah,
things
I
that I just
thought-
assumed it had been there for a while, and because I don't pay attention to this kind of stuff, and I was just out of the loop on it, so I didn't know how recent it was.
Yeah, I felt like it was like sometime shortly before the Odyssey came out when that was like public.
I do
knowledge.
not pay attention to people's marriages, so
Yeah,
I
I'm not
try
a
not
gossip
to.
guy. Okay, great. Doomsday versus Dune 3 versus Jumanji 3. As good, in my opinion, and I'm sure some people are rolling their eyes at it, but like as good as Jumanji 3 looks to me, because I like those movies, and that second one's kind of just a retread of the first one, but it's still funny. Like it's all right. I'm kind of excited about that. It's probably gonna get buried. Well, you know what? I say that. Those were huge. That first movie made $1 billion somehow.
It's definitely not coming out the same weekend as those, but yeah, I don't know. I think Dune 3 and Doomsday are big enough that they could
bury it.
really bury it.
Like,
and like
maybe the other two came out at weeks that just nobody really cared, and also it's a bit of a different climate and a bit of a different world now. Like,
yeah,
people are not.
The
on.
last movie came out 7 years ago.
That's what I was gonna say. It's been too long. It's crazy how the same the whole cast looks somehow.
I know, and it looks like it.
It looks like they made it a week after the second
Yeah.
one.
I think that applies to most of the cast. I think of like the Jumanji game characters. I think 3 of them look exactly the same, and The Rock looks very skinny, and it's really distracting.
But I was gonna say, people are not on the Dwayne Johnson high they used to be on. People are not quite on the Jack Black high that they used to be on. Like these are actors people have turned on a little bit.
But
I'm not saying that they're like hated and canceled or whatever now, but like there's a bit of a we've maybe moved on from these guys.
But Jack Black looks like Jack Black again.
Yes,
that makes me very happy. And then we
he
saw
doesn't have
pictures,
a Steve beard anymore.
and then we saw pictures of him on the set of Minecraft Movie 2, and he has an even longer beard. And I'm like, Jack Black, dude,
that's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's with The Rock. He's had a bad streak. This will either break it or continue it. One of two things will happen, and I couldn't possibly tell you what. Now, this Jumanji movie, it is coming out the week after Dune 3 and Doomsday. That's probably a mistake.
That's a mistake.
Is that coming out Christmas?
Yeah.
I would have.
It's coming out Christmas weekend.
You guys, I would have put it out in January.
Which I know is kind of December, so I get it.
Well, there's that too. Well, then maybe put it out late November. I don't know why that's risky. I don't know why they're doing that. But I think they got a good trailer. Like, I was kind of excited about that premise, and it looks like they're doing even more clever things with that premise than I was expecting. Like actually having those actors get to play the avatars finally is cool. Like, I'm glad they're doing that. Manitou, $20 Mexican pesos. Zendaya should just play the whole Sinister Six.
Yeah.
I'd see that. I'd go see that. Yeah.
That's something I wanted to mention. Back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's something I wanted to mention earlier. Is I don't know if I'd want the very next movie to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six.
No.
But like, I hope we get there. Like, I hope we give him that, and we've got enough. Like, obviously, we haven't even mentioned Scorpion at all. He's not in this movie a
He's in
lot.
it.
So if you're a big Scorpion fan, that's going to be disappointing. But
he shows up to be mind controlled, like Hawkeye in Avengers, but with even less to do than that.
But I think if you have like Scorpion, Shocker from Homecoming, you've got a few villains to play with that I'd like to see on that team. That could be cool.
No, I agree. Like, at the same time as it's ridiculous that we have constantly teased Sinister Six and we've still never done it. Even in the Sony the Spider-Man spin-off movies, we somehow never got there, and we had 5 villains. Like, we had almost enough villains to do it. And like, amazing, that was the big thing that they were building to. Never did it. The closest we've had is No Way Home. Because was that 6 or is it still just 5?
No Way Home was just 5. Yeah.
So we had Sinister 5 a couple of times.
Technically, you had Venom.
No, but
you had Tom Hardy's Venom in an after-credit scene, but that doesn't count.
He doesn't actually do anything.
That counts.
And it makes no sense that he's even there.
Yeah,
I don't know why a portal opened to his dimension there. But anyway, if this is another trilogy, I'm with Robert. Don't do Sinister Six next. It's too big. You'd want to, even if you're not building to it, I would think that would just be the next thing you want to do. Real quick, round robin, because we've got more super chats, and I'm sure there's big things we haven't talked about yet. We're already at 2 hours, and we've been doing a lot of super chat answering and running off and on rabbit trails.
I have a big question where I'm kind of confused on a plot point that I want.
Are you still good to go for a bit, or do you need to go to bed?
Yeah, okay, fine.
This won't be the 5-hour review that No Way Home probably was, but we'll go a bit longer. I don't want to go too speculation cast, but let's go round robin and tell me, if not the villain you think they'll use for the next one, the one that you kind of hope they'll do for the next one. And we'll start with Robert.
Okay. The villain I think they'll do will be somebody like Mr. Negative, which would be disappointing. I want Hobgoblin. I want Hobgoblin. I also want Black Cat. That'd be great.
And those are 2 villains that would... And Black Cat, obviously, Finn sits, too. Those could complement each other wonderfully. Put them both in a movie together.
And I've actually not read this story, and obviously I wouldn't expect a beat-for-beat adaptation, but Death of Jean DeWolf could do that.
But I would also save that for 3. I would let her keep going and then get tragically killed, although it might be to retread for Aunt May, but like tragically kill her by the Sinister Six. You see.
But the idea of the Sinister Six ganging up on and beating this cop lady.
That's pretty funny.
That shouldn't be funny. It's a little excessive. That's all. It's a little excessive.
It doesn't have to be all of them. And she could die in Crossfire, and it would have to be like they all show up to murder Jean DeWolf. Who do you want to see as the next Spider-Man villain? And you have to pick a Spider-Man villain.
Okay. You're not gonna like me. You might. I don't know. Give me Silver Sable.
Did you notice the giant neon sign that said silver?
Yeah,
I thought that might have been a reference or a foreshadowing for a minute. It wasn't. There was no Silver Sable in the movie, but
yeah. No, give me Silver Sable. Give me another street level movie. And
Silver Sable is like supporting kind of. I just don't see her carrying a whole movie.
Well, I could see her and Black Cat. I mean,
no, don't do that. Because then everybody's just gonna say silver and black. Like, don't do that.
Well, no, yeah, you're right.
What were you gonna say, Robert?
I think you could have another like businessman type villain where you have like different factions going after them, and Spider-Man having to deal with all like Silver Sable and Hobgoblin. Like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
You can make all those things mixed
You know
together.
what? In this being so interested in finally more street level Spider-Man, and keeping in mind that he doesn't end on that much different of a status quo as he starts with, which I really like. Like he has
Mhm.
a character arc. He has decided that he's going to make personal connections again. Importantly, he is still, when he gets out of the hospital and injured, immediately calling Gene DeWolf and going, "Give me something."
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
still wants to be Spider-Man as much or more than he wants to be Peter Parker. And I feel like that might be, tell me if I'm reading too far into this, but I think that might be they're kind of promising this is the direction for right now. Like the next movie, he's gonna have friends, but he's gonna be Spider-Man a lot, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
real street
Yeah.
level fighting criminals, as opposed to like big alien and magical threats.
No.
And so I think you guys are spot on that it makes a lot of sense to have something like a you won't do the Kingpin, but like a Kingpin level sort of story, with
Yeah.
with a Hobgoblin either as a Kingpin or working for a Kingpin type character.
Now
Yeah,
I have
that'd
a
be great.
question for you. I mean, would you like D'Onofrio in a Spider-Man movie?
At this point, I kind of don't want that. Just because, and I'll say hot take before the thing I'm gonna say. But like I could not take Born Again seriously. I like we liked the first couple episodes okay, Robert and I, but I lost interest massively by episode 4. I couldn't do it anymore, and I quit. And I'm over D'Onofrio's Kingpin at this point. Like I've been there and done that with that character enough that I really don't need that. And there's apparently some kind of weird rights issues where they can't put him in a movie, and I'll never understand why that is. But forgetting that whole thing, yeah, no, I'm kind of good. Honestly, I would be okay with, just because we've seen so much of him. He's wonderful in the Netflix show, okay, but like I feel like we've watered him down some, and a
Yeah.
soft reboot giving us a new Kingpin, I would personally be fine with. They won't do that, and I'm the only person that wants that. And I don't even massively want that, but I don't at this point need him in a Spider-Man movie.
I am disappointed we made Tombstone just a cameo villain because you could have done that with him, and now it feels like you're not going to make him the main villain of a movie after how we used him in this. But maybe he could be on the Sinister Six or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably
Uh,
won't. I saw this really funny clip of an interview where they were making, somebody was making a big deal out of the fact that he voices Tombstone. Did you know this? He voices
Yeah.
Tombstone in the
In
Spider-Verse
Spider-Verse.
movies,
Yeah.
and then they put him in live action in this,
Mhm.
which is kind of neat. We don't do that a lot. But then he talks about how much of a responsibility he has because it's such a big character. And I'm like, you were in this movie for 10 seconds.
no, nobody remembers he was in. He
No.
he's he somehow had more screen time in this than he did in Spider Verse, which is not saying much.
That's only because
Uh,
there's another scene where you see him just webbed up to a wall. That's the only reason.
And I mean, I like that actor. He played Tobias Whale on the Black Lightning show. I mean,
Oh, is that who
I
that
don't.
is?
Yeah, it is unfortunate if he just keeps getting typecast as albino gangster villains. Like, I hope he gets more variety of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool he was there. But like I said, with how he was used in this movie, it's like, oh, well, you're not gonna make him like a Kingpin level threat after this, since we just made him a cameo villain.
My answer for the villain that I want to see for the next one, if not Hobgoblin, Chameleon.
Yeah.
Chameleon
I was
all
gonna
day
say that
long.
too.
Joel Davis, $5 super chat. It's interesting how the MCU uses Spider-Man to introduce its major concepts. Oh yeah, this is a good call. No Way Home for multiverse and Brand New Day as a prologue to the Mutant Saga. Yeah, and I wonder if that's intentional because it reads kind of accidental in
Mhm.
No Way Home, or well, actually, he says No Way Home. You can go farther back than that, because Far From Home is actually the first thing that introduces the idea of multiverse. It turns out it's a lie, but
Right.
Mysterio comes in and says, "I'm from this other universe. I'm from 616," and then later we retcon it, and this is 616. But it's very strange they did that. But anyway, so yes, any way you slice it, though, this franchise did introduce the multiverse concept. And yeah, Robert, sorry if this is too much, if this is kind of rehashy, but do you have any feelings about just introducing like the X-Men stuff here like already?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I like that. I like that we're going younger. I mean, like regardless of the movie, when Sadie Sink was being rumored for this role like a year ago, and I was like, great, perfect, do that. So if nothing else, I'm just like the precedent that sets. And I don't. Regardless of my feelings on this movie or Doomsday or Secret Wars, I will say moving forward, by far the movie I'm looking forward to the most is the X-Men reboot. Because it has a director behind it I like. He's proven himself with Thunderbolts, and I like the casting so far, so that is like the honest to God, I am excited for this
I'm so excited
MCU
for that
movie.
I'm so excited. You're excited for that? I'm so excited for that. The Professor X dream sequences are going to be so freaking good.
I love that somehow they trust him even though Thunderbolts didn't do great at the box office. Where like they're it seems like they're looking as much at the positive reaction from the people that did see it. As they are the actual box office receipts. So like they know that's a competent director and they know that was a good script. I don't know if he helped write it, but I'm just saying like it was a quality movie that I don't know if they're really taking responsibility for this, but people didn't see it because maybe they didn't advertise it quite right. Or maybe it's just a hard sell. Yeah, in any way you want to look at it. There are great movies, like forgetting the big blockbuster superhero thing, there are great movies that their greatness is not lessened by how few people actually bothered to see it. Some things just don't sell great and aren't for enough people. And Thunderbolts, I've heard a ton of people on the back end finally going back and looking at it and really liking it. Like it was either under the radar for people or they just couldn't get excited about it from the characters.
It was coming up. It was coming off of a lot of Disney Plus shows that were getting mixed reactions.
That's a lot of it too,
like WandaVision, and then like remember, Thunderbolts is the very next movie after Brave New World.
It's the next movie after Brave New World. It has Captain America connections to it, which doesn't help it. So it's like you had the Falcon movie and the Bucky movie, and they had a show together that nobody liked. That also, or that a lot of people didn't like. That also probably didn't help.
Yeah.
I might have said this at the time. If Thunderbolts came out 2 or 3 years after Endgame, I think it would have done great.
Yeah.
I am glad people are going back to it though, and finally watching it.
I don't know the numbers on this or anything, but that seems like probably a big Disney Plus movie.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Where it just seems like a lot of. I just keep hearing people talking about it now. Where it's like, oh, I should have seen that. I finally watched it on Disney Plus.
Because it's the best MCU movie, and nobody watched it.
It's the best MCU movie in a long time. And again, I liked Spider-Man. I don't think it's Thunderbolts good.
No, well, no.
Yeah, I like
Thunderbolts is top tier.
Speaking of which, how did you guys feel about Yelena's cameos in this?
Great.
I didn't like him at all.
Oh.
Duality of man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Go ahead, Jason.
Oh, I thought they were very strange. I thought it was a little
strange.
It was a little out of character, but
it was way too out of character. my worry is that's her moving forward. Yeah. And I was already having that with that whole cast in the after credits with Thunderbolts. Where like night and day the writing has completely changed and now they just seem like Saturday morning cartoon characters and no. And so we get into this and the basic idea that her office is a swimming pool and the reason she gives for why she uses that and kind of, makes people vulnerable and can tell they don't have weapons and puts her at an advantage. Yeah. Like, I like all of that on paper. I just thought she was written way too goofy.
That's fair. I don't know.
I get that she's in a happier place in her life now. We've rubber banded that way too far the other direction.
Yeah.
It was like the issues I have with Groot and Guardians 2, but like 3 times worse than that. Or not Groot,
crazy.
not Groot. Drax. Thank you.
Her second scene is a lot better. With the
I don't think it is.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
It's okay.
I don't know. And maybe I just need a rewatch to be like really, but like I went back to her scenes in Hawkeye and was like, okay, well, she is kind of the same character actually, because I was having it.
Yeah.
I was having that while watching this. I was like, oh, she's very out of character here, but not really, like a little bit still, but I don't know.
Yeah, in Thunderbolts, we saw her in a very depressed, low place. But before that, like, she did have more of that goofy energy to her.
The problem is Thunderbolts is where I fell in
particularly
love
Hawkeye.
with her, so I need some kind
That's
of
fair.
split the middle. Like, I liked her okay in Hawkeye, but like by Thunderbolts, like, I loved her. I wish she had been the original Black Widow, and
She's great.
I'm not having that post that, and I'm kind of worried it's just going to stay on that train. I need some kind of middle ground.
That's fair. Like you said, like, 2 things I like about that first scene are, like you said, kind of, even if the comedy doesn't land for you, I like that it is another example of that runner of he will not take off his mask regardless of the situation or who he's talking to.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
I like that it feeds into that. There's also something I like.
Well, that's kind of classic Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We have lots of examples in the, early Spider-Man comics where he's got his mask on, but he's not wearing a shirt, or he's got some kind of silly costume.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Robert, what were you gonna say?
What I like about their dynamic is there was also kind of a full circle thing with Homecoming that I liked, though, where when she tells him, like, oh, you're small potatoes, like, you're dealing with, like, this isn't like Avengers level stuff you're dealing with. So I like that we kind of got him back to that place he was in Homecoming with how Tony Stark was treating him, but differently. So I don't know. I was kind of 50-50 on it. Like I said, I don't even know if she needed to be in this movie, like how I felt with Hulk. That's the thing I'm very much of 2 minds about with a lot of, like, the broader MCU stuff in this movie is, well, I don't know if I needed it, but it's also such a small part of the movie. It's not, I never felt like it was that overstuffed or messy like an Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's trying to be about too many different things. Like, whether it's, again, Yelena or Hulk, like, they're such small parts of the movie that I didn't find them too distracting.
So that's not what I thought you were going to say. There are a couple of things that take us back to Homecoming that I was really impressed with, because it's kind of back to basics and back to brass tacks, and this is the start of the next franchise. So it goes back to Homecoming, maybe to a lesser degree, but in similar ways that I felt like Homecoming kind of goes back to the first Iron Man. So I like that we introduced damage control in the teaser of Homecoming, and then they're the bad guys here. Like, I love that. The thing you said about this being like Homecoming because he's put back in that place with Tony Stark, I don't have that at all. And the small potatoes thing doesn't work. The problem with it is the Avengers handle exactly these kinds of threats. It looks like terrorists blew up a big building. I mean, that's what the Avengers deal with, is that kind of stuff. Like I get that they've dealt with now, like, aliens and things, but they don't only do that. Like, okay, so now that we know aliens exist, we're going to ignore terrorists bringing down buildings. Like, no. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, especially since that's not what... especially since... Do you guys remember Thunderbolts? Like, I don't, like, the new Avengers haven't even dealt with those level, like, types of threats yet.
No, and they used to be the terrorists that dropped the building.
Exactly.
Or at least the assassins that killed people by dropping... She did the same thing Jean Grey did at the start of Thunderbolts.
Yeah, and I think there was a broader issue there. Like, I don't know what the Avengers are or what they're, and like they don't know what. This has been a problem since Endgame. So I think there is just a broader
No,
problem with the MCU
that's totally fair.
there.
But Austin made a good point to me again off camera, and so this is not my point, but I agree with him. Tell me what you think. But he said, well, it's just not the threat level's not that far away from like the beginning of Age of Ultron. So like, how's it small potatoes?
Because we're in phase 6.
That's
Okay. And they could be doing a thing where they're too big for their britches, where they're trying to prove themselves as the Avengers, and so. But I don't like that she's that naive and that's maybe not the right word, but like that pompous about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't love that. Like, I want her to be good at her job, you know. Like, I want her to prove that at least she's worthy of being the leader of the Avengers, even if some of her team is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just need to watch it again to know where I land on all that stuff.
You know what I do like?
I didn't mean to just completely rip your argument to shreds, Robert.
Well, but also, like, up to that point in the movie, though, like, I just don't recall, like, how big things had even escalated.
Well,
like, I don't know.
The thing is, damage control is a like government entity, you know, like they're a part of the same. Sorry, I'm getting my thoughts together. They're a part of. I'm not sure if they're local or federal because they, at least, you know, that section is just working in New York. But like, the Avengers are a government sanctioned and or government connected group. So it would be in their purview to deal with that. You know what I mean? Because, and I'm not saying because damage control are the bad guys. I'm saying because they at first look like the victims. You could see the governor calling the Avengers and saying somebody threw a tank into damage control. Go look into this. How's it small potatoes?
Well, the movie does. The movie does not make this clear enough, but you could see it as that or Metzger specifically is like, no, we don't want involvement with the Avengers. We're working with Spider-Man. Like, he's got it because we can manipulate him and deal with him. So that could be it. But the movie does not make that clear enough.
Yeah, but that
would be an explanation.
That would mean she would have to be talking with him, and that clearly is not what's happening.
No. Mm.
Anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I did like?
What's that?
Spider-Man in winter garment.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was hilarious.
Senior Sticks, $2 super chat. I'll just read this real fast and we'll move on because it's not related. He says we should do a Jumanji 24-hour stream as a Monopoly stream. Okay. Those are two different things. Are you saying we're watching Jumanji while playing Monopoly? Sure.
Why wouldn't we just play Jumanji? It's a real board game you can purchase.
We could do board game streams. We could do more streams where we play a board game while watching a boring movie.
And it's not bad.
We've done that before. What's that?
And the Jumanji board game isn't bad.
I've never played it. I know you were a big fan of that when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Goofster, $10 super chat. Thank you guys very much for the support. Would you kill off the wolf immediately next movie? Or wait? Like I said, I would wait. The Sinister Six. She, like many Spidey characters, is most known for her death. It feels like I don't know why I read it like that. It feels like it could be a good motivation for some Venom stuff. I agree. Sure. That's maybe too much. You can do it at the end. You can do it at the end of the second movie.
But again, that's to my point earlier, though, with how we handle the Peter evolving stuff in this movie. Like, yeah, I don't know if you want to do the black suit in the very next movie. That would feel too retready.
Yeah, but to his point, you kill her off at the end of this movie, and he's not dealing with black suit stuff until after that. I mean, because you could set the next movie before Secret Wars, like even if it came out after.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't
Right?
call
I mean,
that.
you could set it anytime you wanted to.
That's true.
Now, we probably wouldn't do that because there's not precedent for that with Spider-Man. Like, it's always after the
Right.
last thing that happened, I think.
Is it?
Where does Far From Home happen?
Far From Home happens after Endgame.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
does it really?
right. That's immediately
But
after
it-
Endgame. That's the
Yeah, but-
next one where they're like, here are the people that were blipped, here are the people that weren't. Yeah, that's right.
Right. But in the marketing, they were playing coy about it. Like they wanted to like trick people into thinking it was set immediately after Homecoming because that movie's existence spoiled what happened in Endgame. So the release date on that was weird, but yes, it
Oh.
is set after Endgame. Because remember, we were getting trailers for Far From Home before Endgame came out, and there was Spider-Man alive, and all his friends are alive after getting blipped in Infinity War. But
With the sound of
Ant-Man and the
music.
Wasp, yes, but Ant-Man and the Wasp was a movie that came out after Infinity War, but set before it. So I don't know. It
No,
could go
isn't it
either
set
way.
at the same time?
Well, the after
No,
credits
it's set before it, and then the end credits catch us up,
Okay.
and then set up where Ant-Man's going to be in Endgame.
Man,
And then Black Widow just throws the whole thing off.
Ant-Man.
Yep.
I've still not seen
But yeah,
Black Widow.
It's not great.
It has
You
the
don't need
best opening credits, and then it's all downhill
Oh,
from
man.
there.
Well,
But
okay, there's the thing with Black Widow. It had a couple of new characters I really liked, and then they got to be in a good movie in Thunderbolts. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sets up
Just watch
Yelena
Thunderbolts.
And David
Red.
Harbour.
What's his face?
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Thank you. Too many.
David Harbour.
too many
That's all I
characters.
know. That's the other thing about Thunderbolts is like none of those characters are in good things. I don't know how they did that. But they made a movie with characters that are not in good things that they
And then made them all pretty cool.
awesome. Yeah. Like I've never cared about Ghost.
Like, Ghost, like Ant-Man 2's boring.
Yeah. And she's the worst part of that movie. Like
Yep.
but she's
Yeah, like,
great
and
in
then
Thunderbolts.
It's to that story's benefit and to the box office's detriment.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Because
I
people
like
didn't care.
Yeah, that was quite a risk. And the thing is, like I said earlier, they had Bucky, who used to be this huge fan favorite character, but the last thing he was in is a TV show that people didn't like. So that didn't help them either.
Mm-hmm.
Senior Sticks, $2 super chat. Can Big Wheel be part of the Sonyverse 6? Well, they're done making the spin-off movies. But it would have been great if the last of them was Big Wheel, and then that was their 6th one, and then they finally did their Sinister Six. And it would have been great if they had a Sinister Six movie that opens with them looking around going, hey, we just pulled together this supervillain team, but we don't have anybody to fight. Who are we going to fight? I guess we'll go kill Jean DeWolf. There's no one to stop us.
No, fight Venom, because
We're
Venom is not a supervillain.
We're in the I Hate Jean DeWolf fan club. If you go fight Venom, then you have to come up with yet another villain that you can put in your 6th, though. That's the problem.
Oh, well, are you counting Carnage?
No.
Yeah, then just bring him back.
He's dead. I think.
It's the Sonyverse.
I don't remember what the hell happens in that movie. It's
Who
terrible.
cares?
Yeah, who cares? It sucks.
Okay, well, and I never saw Craven because like that also had Rhino in it, but I don't know if he died.
Yeah, true.
In that
Oh,
movie.
I forgot about
And
Rhino.
Chameleon.
Yeah, he's in there. Well, I'm not sitting here counting. Super Billy, $2 super chat. How about a Tombstone who's not just a cameo? Here's the thing. I like the because I don't want to be a hypocrite with this. On the one hand, again, it would have been nice to have a Spider-Man villain in your Spider-Man movie. And if you had that, I guess people probably wouldn't have minded the cameo villains as much. A lot of fans have this. I always wanted us to do more Spider-Man's just fighting some villains that scenes, and they don't have to be part of the main plot. Like, when he was fighting Scorpion, I thought we might be doing that, and then he was sort of roped into the main plot, but it ends up being kind of a bit of both. This movie was actually supposed to have a scene, one scene where he's fighting a bunch of villains that and then they ended up cutting it. But so to your point, like if you really like Tombstone, I can see why you're saying that. On the other hand, I like that we're doing some of that. Where it's just here's Spider-Man, here's a montage, and he's fighting some villains, and it's not just a montage of like thugs. He's actually fighting villains that you know.
So I don't know. I don't know about that version of Tombstone as a main villain. I don't know.
I liked his look in that shot, but I'm with you.
Silly.
Would that work as a big villain?
Like I said earlier, I think the best you get from him if you bring him back is he could be on the Sinister Six if we ever do that movie.
Sure.
I think that's possible.
Oh man, we've got a bunch more super chats here. Real quick before we do that, I want to make sure that we hit any other just really major parts of the movie that we've not talked about yet, because we're 2.5 hours in. We haven't talked a lot about Punisher.
Oh, sure.
It is funny. So I want to just real briefly go back to that, because I was surprised by how much I liked him in this. And I thought that there's a couple things that are a little bit silly. But overall, I was really impressed with the line it walks, where he's not too watered down while also not being real violent. And I thought it was kind of impressive the way they worked him into PG-13, where he's completely in character. He's just stuck dealing with more wholesome people than he wants to. Like, and so he's not censoring himself or anything. It surprisingly works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
they push it a little too far in places. I don't know if I'd buy him crying over shooting a Spider-Man.
I buy this Punisher crying. This Punisher cries a lot. A lot.
Well, but the other thing is, he in some ways is the Netflix / Disney Plus Punisher, although you could also argue that he's maybe not even the same character between those things. But and then in some ways just feels like more classic, like 80s comic Punisher to me. So like Bernthal's giving the same performance, but he's not that Punisher that keeps like drives Austin and other Punisher fans crazy. He's not that Punisher that keeps retiring. He looks like he's just been at it all this time, which I appreciate. They are ignoring some of the irritating things about TV show Punisher.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where I'm going to be kind of a hypocrite, because, like, I gave this movie a lot of credit for feeling like there's a real passage of time since the last movie. You know, stuff has happened, and, like, how it relates to the MCU movies and stuff mostly works for me. But I don't know how this fits with Born Again, because I've seen all of that show. And it's such a mess, and, like...
I also don't care.
And I don't care. Like, Mayor Kingpin never acknowledged, but... Spoiler alert for Born Again, he's not the mayor anymore by the end of season 2. But why? I don't understand how Spider-Man is like being Spider-Man all the time between these two movies, and is like the
Kingpin's never got his anti-vigilante crusade. I forgot all about
makes
that.
No sense.
Yeah, sure.
That doesn't fit, but I don't care.
And he's not being Spider-Man in secret either. Like, the whole city rallies around him, and he's got a good relationship with the police, and that seems to have gone.
He's got an app,
and that seems to have gone on for a while. Yeah, he's got an app, and like it's funny. It's like the beginning of Spider-Man 3 if it kept going.
Yeah,
you know, where just the whole town likes him. Except I kind of buy it here. There it just felt real arbitrary, where it's like, well, we need to drop that other shoe at some point, so just arbitrarily everybody loves Spider-Man now, and here I actually kind of bought it.
Yeah, and
there's also no Jonah Jameson anywhere to be found to tell people to hate him.
That's weird.
So, yeah, but that's why it works.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. So, like I said, all that stuff, that doesn't all fit. As with Punisher, I forget, Cap, did you watch the One Last Kill special that just came out?
No.
With Punisher? You don't need to. But that is another thing where Punisher's retired at the start of it, but he's not retired at the end. So sure, I guess that leads in fine into this movie. But what I like about it is, in my opinion, if you go from just like Daredevil season 2 when he was introduced, I think that's actually pretty organic lead in here. And I mean, you could even include his Netflix show, because at the end of Netflix season 2, he's out doing Punisher things again. So like, if you're just jumping off of that stuff, I think this feels like the same character to me, or like a natural evolution. So yeah, I was fine.
And that ending scene with
portrayal
him
here.
was hilarious, I thought. And I thought, like,
Most of the comedy landed.
they played
Yeah,
him for
I think so,
comedy
too.
well.
Yeah.
Like,
That was the shocking thing, is if you told me that's how they were going to use him, and from the trailer I was afraid that's how they'd use him, and he's not out of character to do it. You know,
Yeah.
that gag where Spider-Man like webs up a gun and then he just pulls out an identical gun. It's really funny. It totally works.
But then there are things like his hideout, like that's not, we haven't seen that before. I don't know where he got that, but okay.
It's cool.
It's cool. He's driving around in broad daylight and the police aren't after him. Like he's in hospitals and everything and people don't care. Okay.
That's true. How does that work? Well, again, that's what makes it feel like 80s Punisher, where just everybody ignores him so that he can exist in this universe. It's really funny.
And that was one shot that made me laugh that's not supposed to, because like I like the visual of it, of Punisher carrying Spider-Man's body into the hospital.
It doesn't work.
But
it's so
he
funny.
was so far away from where he shot him that was Spider-Man just laying there like when Punisher had to go get him. Or did him and Jean meet like halfway? What happened between those two shots?
And what exactly does Jean do with her telekinetic powers that keep you alive?
I don't
know what that means. Punisher's like, she did her voodoo magic shit. And then I was like, I don't really know how that works, but all right.
This is something that was cut that bums me out.
I also think Punisher has maybe one too many like he does that the whole movie.
Well,
he just keeps his dismissive grunt. He's like, and like it's just a little too many times.
Oh yeah. The one thing that does bum me out was cut is we know Rosario Dawson shot a cameo as Claire that didn't make the final cut.
I'm sure she was a nurse at the end. That's the only thing.
At the end, and I wish that was there. That would have been cool.
I don't know why you cut that. I wonder what was in it.
I don't know. Because again, like there are questions you're asking, like, okay, like how much of the hospital staff saw him without his mask? Like, I mean, why wasn't Punisher arrested? I forget. Did he have guns on him when he was carrying Spider-Man's body into the hospital? I don't remember.
See, when you said unintentionally funny, I thought you were just going to say the shot where he's holding him, because I laughed out loud. That was so funny. Austin sent me a panel from I don't know what comic where he does that, where like he's holding Spider-Man's like tragically brutalized body like that, and it looks real sad and heart-wrenching in a comic book in a way that it just doesn't translate to screen.
I think it's just because it's Bernthal.
It's the slow-mo and it's the yell that he's doing. Yeah. It's very funny.
But it's also comic booky, and I kind of love that. Like they're both in their full costumes. And that's something we did. That also could have been my best thing. The Spider-Man suit looks so good in this movie. So good. It's practical. It's not covered in CGI. He's in it most of the movie.
It's so good.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I have a thing with the movie that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
That we weren't gonna bring up unless I brought it up. It's a story question I have. With where MJ.
Carnage, yes.
No. MJ starts like messing with his thingy thing. You know,
his inhibitor chip, which like Doc Ock, he's got to put in the back of his neck where it's very vulnerable and anybody can break it.
And she's like, "Oh, well, what's overheating it is your goggles."
Yeah.
And then what he does is he takes it and he puts it back on his neck again, and then he's like, "Oh, thanks, MJ, that really worked." I'm like, "What did you do differently?" She just said that it was overheating because of your goggles. You didn't do anything differently.
I think that's true.
You just put it back on your neck.
Did he shut off the AI in his mask? So I don't know.
It took like it was like a frame, because I was like, "What did you do differently?"
Yeah,
I didn't think of that. No, that's really funny.
So yeah, I thought that was weird. But
Did you guys? This is another major thing we should probably mention. Did you guys buy Jean Grey being affected by and being talked down by the Aunt May speech the way she was?
Yeah. Yep.
Does that
Yeah.
work?
Yep.
Yeah,
I cried. I love that.
I really liked the way we used Aunt May in this.
I mean,
Um,
it was just Thunderbolts, but
it is.
yeah, I loved it.
It's like I said, it's kind of lesser Thunderbolts. I liked the speech a lot.
Yeah.
And I still felt like it was maybe a little overplayed. Like, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. What I mean is, I can't decide if that character would go to tears as fast as she. Now, it might have just been two things. It might have just been the words she really needed to hear. That like it is possible for a mother or a mother figure to love you despite your powers, the thing that makes you different, the thing that hers shuns her for or is scared of her for or whatever it is. And it's the best recontextualization. I said that wrong. It's the best recontextualization of power and responsibility without coming out and saying power and responsibility they've done yet. So far, like it didn't play silly. I really liked the way she said it. The distinction of you have a responsibility to be a good person because you can be loved for the person you are, not the powers you have, and that means that you need to be a good person and use your powers responsibly. That's excellent.
And if you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
Yes.
So like I said, I love the speech. I just couldn't decide if she would go with it as quickly as she does. But maybe because maybe Aunt May reminds her a lot of her mother and wishes that was her mother.
Yeah.
It's the words she needed her actual mother to say to her that she didn't.
Yep.
So that's great.
Yeah.
What I also liked, at least my read on it, is I assume it's particularly with the uniform he's wearing in that scene is, this is the scene with him and Aunt May between Homecoming and Far From Home that we never got. And I like that, if that's what the scene's supposed to be. Because Homecoming has that great ending of, oh my god, Aunt May knows he's Spider-Man now. What's that conversation gonna look like? Oh, she's cool with it, I guess.
It's pretty clearly... No, I think your read is right. It's pretty clearly the first conversation they have after she knows, and that's about that. I do think it's sad that she had to die before she got anything to do. Like, besides dying last movie, this is the first time that she's been real integral to the story in any meaningful way, and she's dead.
Oh, that's great.
Like, we did that with Uncle Ben in the Raimi movies. Like every sequel, he would come back in a dream sequence or something.
That's true.
But he at least mattered in the first place. Leo, $5 Australian. Thanks for bringing that up. The first thing you brought up. But anyway, overall, I like this movie. I did feel like it was missing something. Yeah, same thing. For me, I think it was not having a major Spider-Man villain. I'm right there with you.
Fair enough.
If Scorpion could have been roped more into the story somehow without just being mind controlled, like maybe have him do stuff for damage control, or maybe have him working for damage control instead of the Hand.
Sure.
Yeah. I just don't love Scorpion.
Yeah, but he's at least a major Spider-Man villain, and there are people that really like him.
Sure.
He's one of Austin's favorite villains, and so he was disappointed. I don't have a dog in that. I don't really care that much about Scorpion, but I was glad that they didn't do anything with the Venom symbiote like was rumored a lot, because if they had, it would have been Scorpion probably becoming Venom before Eddie Brock does, and I'm glad they didn't do that, because I was a little worried that might happen.
Yeah, like I keep saying, if we ever get to Sinister Six, he'll definitely be on that team. So that's nice. Hey, at least
that's
the
why they're
Spider-Man
going after Jean DeWolf, because she arrests him in this. And so he's gonna lead a campaign to murder her.
No, but
it will be massive overkill.
No, but they're gonna recast him as Zendaya.
Oh, Zendaya Scorpion.
With the rest of the Sinister Six. And they're gonna go get Gene Wolfe.
I mean, even though the Spider-Man villains in this are just cameos, at least they don't die.
Well, that's good. That's true.
That's nice. Can't say that about every MCU villain.
We've got high standards. Leo, $5 Australian, I think. I think AU is us. I don't know what A is. Very happy Elektra was not the leader of the Hand. She is my favorite female character, and I did not want to see them bring her back as a villain. Well, and she's just not great in the Daredevil show. I'm with you, except also having them here at all and just going, here's the Hand. It's just so bizarre.
It's very strange, and like they're rumored to appear in the next season of Born Again. We do know Elektra will be back in the next season of that, but I have no idea what they're gonna do with her. And yeah.
Cyber Troop Studios, super chat. Poor Jean, I had to save them both. You see, I'm both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, not because I have to be, now because I choose to be.
Correct.
I wonder if he knows you, Robert, and did that just for you. That was a Batman Forever speech. For anybody that doesn't know what that was, were you aware of that?
Yep.
Did you know what that was?
Yep.
Good job. I raised you well. Fantastic.
That's a good
movie. You are qualified to be here.
Yay.
One thing we haven't talked about with Jean's arc that I can understand not landing for people is, do you think we make her a little too malicious in this movie to get off at the end?
I'm glad you brought that up.
I think the exact scene... sorry, because you were probably going to say this. I think the exact scene where we go too far with it is when she mind hops into that old guy who gets hit by a car. Like, you didn't need to do that.
No.
I didn't...
Just have her be more careful because she's not actually evil. Okay, the problem is it does not walk the line very well of making her menacing because she's supposed to be... We're supposed to think that she's the real main villain up until it turns out that she's not just sympathetic, but is supposed to be eventually redeemed and a hero. So once you have the handoff... the real villain is the damage control guy, it falls into that trap that we've seen a lot before where she's evil until we decide she's not evil. And, that doesn't work.
And to be fair, I mean, we've done this a lot in Marvel Comics and in the MCU. Like, there are a lot of bad guy characters who have done really bad things that we just... Like Loki!
We just hand wave and
sweep that under the rug.
We don't feel like they
need
any time in prison or anything just because they have superpowers and can save people. So that gets them off. Look, Jean does kind of have that Sandman thing of my sister's in trouble and that makes it okay for me to break the law. And so by the end, we just sort of ignore that she's actually killed people. And yeah, that's a big problem.
Yep.
It is.
Also, there's a long history of that in the X-Men movies. Because that was always my issue, as much as I like this movie, with Xavier in in First Class, where he seems to just sort of ignore how much sadistic murder his new best friend has done. And people have argued with me where they're like, well, he's not talking about it because he knows that, he's a good person and he can get better. And I'm like, okay, but on any average day, if he saw someone do the things Magneto has done, wouldn't he say you need jail time? Like I don't know why, just because he sympathizes with his plight and he's a mutant and he can help him build a school, that's okay. This is falling in that category a little bit, and he kind of does the same thing a little bit with X-23 and Logan.
Oh yeah.
But I digress. So yeah, I'm right there. I'm so glad you brought that up because that was a gigantic problem that I had.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, but I forgot.
and even if you think like this is too villainous and going too far, it didn't bother me in the scenes when she's like in somebody to like jump off a building to make Spider-Man rescue them because she knows Spider-Man is gonna rescue them. Like I think that's writing that line okay, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
It's just when that old guy gets hit by a car for no reason.
That's going too far.
I missed that.
Well, and also she doesn't know what innocent people are gonna be in the damage control building when she throws that tank or whatever at the beginning of the movie. Like, yeah, she hates the guy running it, but you can't assume that everybody in that building even knows what's happening. Like they're and so you could say, well, she's looking at it as they're all culpable for even working there, but that again, that just makes her a terrorist. And
yeah,
there's a big distinction between like somebody who's writing the line with the law to save like a kidnapped sister versus a terrorist. It's kind of that problem that Falcon and Winter Soldier had. You know, when Falcon's like, "Don't call her a terrorist," you're like, "Well, she's a terrorist." I don't know what to tell you.
That was definitely worse, but
yeah,
that's a fair that's a fair analogy.
But it's similar.
Yeah. And did the VMAX reveal?
V'ger?
It's the same thing.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
That's awesome. It is the same thing. Well, it's the same thing if that vent was a sentient being.
Yeah.
It could be.
But sorry, what were you asking about that?
Like, did that reveal land for you? Because I did have the thought Jason had for a while of, oh, I thought her sister was like the actual evil villain of the movie and not Jean. And then we find out, oh no, her sister's dead. So she's been trying to find and rescue her sister the whole time, and oh no, she's actually dead. That landed for me okay.
Honestly,
I liked it. Go ahead.
I was a little like I was having a hard time staying awake during that stuff. I thought that the third act kind of like dragged just a little bit.
Well, did you guys feel like the movie was too long? Because that was complete Austin had. I didn't really. I like the way it breathes.
No, just
personally.
certain scenes were too long.
I think it's a little bloated. Like we keep saying, there's probably more side characters and things in this movie that need to be here. But I liked the pacing of it okay, and like you, Cap, I appreciate how many just conversations are in this movie, not just exposition scenes, like just long, thoughtful conversations.
Yeah,
like, that actually take
real
their
people.
time. Yeah, like so, all that stuff really worked for me.
It felt like it had the attitude of, yeah, we know that the pacing is a little off and our movie is kind of long, but I mean, we made you wait for 5 years. Like it really kind of has that attitude.
I also thought the climax did strike the right balance of a lot of people in the city are in danger, and Spider-Man's got to fight this thing before he can reach Jean emotionally, without going too big. I never felt like we escalated too much, or I never felt like, because like the most actual action in that scene is just the fight with the hand, which is actually pretty intimate, mostly in one room, and I thought that struck a good balance where it didn't feel like we need to make this the biggest Spider-Man climax in any movie ever. Like, no, I liked how,
even though her freezing everybody at the same time in that radius in New York does feel really Thunderbolts.
Oh, it sure does.
Yes.
Oh, to your point about Jean being too vicious, there is a big problem with that with the Punisher. Because he's so black and white, he would just see her still as a murderer that should be taken off the board. Like, if she had never actually killed anybody, the way it ends with him and her is fine, but the fact that he's, like, he shoots Spider-Man on accident trying to shoot her, and then, again, talked about this with Austin, and he was like, why doesn't he just shoot again? And I can see that argument where it's like, just because you hit Spider-Man doesn't mean that your mind would be changed about what the mission is. And then what would change his mind about her after that? Just because he shot Spider-Man, she still killed some people.
Yeah,
and he doesn't know everything Spider-Man knows about her. Like it's almost like he's read the script and he sympathizes with her now. And even if he had read the script, I still don't totally buy that with the Punisher.
Yeah, but Spider-Man got in the way of her when
Yeah.
he shot the bullet.
I,
Like,
I,
Right,
I,
and then
I'm
he
gonna.
went to the ground, and then he could just shoot her again.
yeah, but
No?
no. But the reason he doesn't is because there's got to be some reason that Spider-Man got in front of her.
Yeah.
When he shot it.
I don't buy that.
Because I had the same question.
No.
And
Here's why I don't buy that. Punisher already knows that Spider-Man doesn't agree with his MO and his plan.
Right.
So he might step in front of the bullet even if he hasn't had that moment with her in his mind, right? Like Punisher would just he would feel bad for hitting him, or he'd wish that hadn't happened.
Yeah.
But he's so cold and emotionless about this stuff. You'd think that he would just go, yeah, but she's a terrorist. She still needs to get taken out.
I just didn't buy this random Spider-Man Brand New Day version of the Punisher doing that. I don't know.
Doing what?
It's so it's such a weird version of the Punisher where it's like he is the Punisher, but he's also like and yeah, I know that like he's not pushed, or he's not like so PG-13, but he also like he's not like really the Punisher in this. I don't know. Like he doesn't like go out and like kill people in this.
Well, he's trying.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't work out a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Robert.
I think I agree with Jason. I think he can see in that moment that he took the bullet for her and that she was then like at his side, like at his aid. So no, that scene didn't bother me at all.
I don't know why that would change his mind about her. Like, just think about Punisher's philosophy. Like, she has killed people. She is a terrorist. Why would that change anything for him?
But again, though, I don't. It's right because Jason hasn't seen much of this Punisher before. But
no,
from what I've seen, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd buy it. That's why I didn't even think of it, because I wouldn't buy this version of Punisher played by John Bernthal taking another shot at her, because he's not like as far gone as comic book Punisher. Like you said earlier, like, oh, this Punisher cries more than I expected. I'm like, John Bernthal's Punisher cries a lot, maybe too much. Like this is a very emotional Punisher, so
sure,
I totally buy it.
Why does he have to be farther gone to finish the mission he already started? Just because he shot a guy, I don't understand that. Like he can do it very quickly and then run over there and save Spider-Man. Like why? And again, this is not my point, but the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm agreeing with it, even though you guys are not.
Yeah, but I don't know. Can you see though that like the force field, whatever you want to call it, like has dropped when Spider-Man gets hit?
Well, I mean that's a fair point. That because I mean the main reason he's gonna shoot her is to stop all of that. I get that, but he was already planning on killing her before all of that.
I just buy this Punisher going, oh God, what have I done? Like,
okay,
and not so.
Again, like you're remembering the Netflix stuff more than me, but I felt like they were writing him somewhat differently and somewhat more in line with classic Punisher, and so I'm taking it a little bit more on classic Punisher terms. And I don't know which of us is right about it, but because you make a good argument if you think they're consistent enough with the TV characterization, but the reason I liked him in this is because I felt like he was more classic than he has been. So, anyway. Okay, great $2 super chat. I liked how small scale this was for a Spider-Man movie. Well, I liked how small scale it was for MCU in these movies. Because again, I just needed it. Honestly, the whole movie could have been the montage of him swinging around saving people at the beginning, and I would have been fine with it.
I want to say one last point on that, on the Punisher debate. I don't know if I'm right about this.
He's just not going to let it go.
I'm not. I think this is just my opinion. Maybe the movie doesn't clear it. In my opinion, if he shoots Spider-Man and she takes off running, then I think he takes another shot or goes after her. That's what I think would happen. but it's because she kneels down and stays with him, and then everybody's broken out of that trance. I buy him.
Also, I think if he
immediately taking another shot.
I think if he tries to take another shot, he just shoots Spider-Man again.
Well, I would have to go back and look and see where he is, but I'm pretty sure he's just on the ground. Like, how's he going to accidentally hit him when he's lying on the ground?
Oh, you mean Spider-Man?
Yeah, I think.
My question about that scene was, I guess Jean just lets Metzger go or doesn't notice him. Again, remember, guys, I'm going off in memory of only watching this movie once.
Yeah,
but we say later that he's still
Thursday, so
yeah, I saw it Saturday. But we say later that like he's still at large, like he got away. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't think of that, but that's a good point.
So that's what I thought of that I wasn't sure about.
I've got no rebuttal for that. GG, $5 super chat. Surprised you didn't do a No Way Home commentary before this movie. What is your final verdict on No Way Home, on its ending now that you've seen Brand New Day? I didn't do that because we're doing Homecoming. We were supposed to do Homecoming last week, and or the week before, I forget, but like we were supposed to do it before this came out. We're doing it Wednesday now. So we decided to do that instead of No Way Home. I kicked that around, but we decided to do these in order just because they're we don't always do stuff in order on the commentary project, but with some of these bigger franchises we have been, sometimes on accident, but like we've actually been doing the Raimi movies, I think in order, and like the X-Men movie, the initial X-Men movies. No, actually, I think those we've been out of order on. But anyway, I kicked around No Way Home, and then Austin and I talked about it, and we finally landed on, now let's just do Homecoming.
Well, with Iron Man, you did.
An Iron Man. Which I'm glad we're doing, because this ends up being more related to Homecoming than I expected it to be. This movie doesn't make me really like or dislike No Way Home any more than I did. Like I still, like I said, I still really dislike that ending, and this does the best it can with it. That's kind of all I have to say about it right now. But I still overall don't love that movie. It's like, it's got its moments. There's fun stuff in it, but I think it's like really cobbled together.
Oh,
yeah. Jason's gonna have to go to bed.
Yep.
And we've got some more super chats, so why don't we go ahead and send you on your way, Jason? Yep. Thanks for being here for 3 hours.
Yeah, no problem.
I hope you had a good time. Anything else you wanted to mention that you didn't get a chance to?
There's a lot in this movie.
We were pretty thorough.
There is a lot in this movie. No?
Okay.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. It's a new day.
I'm glad you did that. I was going to do that. Calavask, $10 super chat. As it stands, do you think we'll ever get Ned's Hobgoblin?
Yep, he's going to get the Venom symbiote.
At this point, I kind of don't think it'll be Ned, and if it is, it'll be a misstep. This kind of retreading stuff we've talked about already, but Robert, you have to cede that. Like, he's still too much the same character he's been all along. I was kind of hoping he would be in a little bit more of a dramatically different place. Like, it's kind of the typical obvious thing you would expect with him. Like, oh, he's trying to figure out who Spider-Man is because he saved him a bunch of times and he doesn't remember that Peter is Spider-Man. Like, he's charming, he's fun, he's fine. It would have been nice to have him in a little bit of a surprising place somehow. I don't know what exactly, but
yeah, that's fair. Why this scene made me laugh, but when he's like watching the news after the Hulk incident happened and Banner's being taken away, and they're like, "Oh God, we don't know what's going to happen with him.
That's so sad.
He's probably out of a job." He's so sad. He's crying over it. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did.
I just can't relate to him because I dislike Ruffalo's performance so much. Is it maybe he hulks out and that'll be how they do the Miles handoff? I just like the Ultimate Comics introducing Green Goblin and Harry now would feel rushed. Yeah, but I also feel like doing that with Ned would feel rushed because we just haven't done anything with him.
Yeah.
Any way you slice it. Yeah, you can't suddenly introduce Harry Osborn in your 5th movie, I don't think. But
well, because I'm going under the assumption that the next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie will be after Secret Wars and set after Secret Wars. I think there's every chance in the world that is when they finally introduce the MCU Norman Osborn, even if they don't immediately make him Green Goblin. Because if they finally...
You want to lay money down on it? Because I would bet you real money that never happens.
I have no idea.
They had Green Goblin. I will bet you $100 on this because Green Goblin from the other universe murdered Aunt May. And that to me is they're doubling down on if you've seen a character in a previous Spider-Man movie, we're not doing it in MCU.
That is fair. I'm also coming at it from the perspective of if we do bring in an MCU Norman Osborn, like we'll use him in other stuff. I mean, if Sony lets them, I guess. But and also like we don't know yet how much of a soft reboot Secret Wars is gonna be. I mean, I'm not even like
that's a fair point.
I'm not even 100% confident that Tom Holland sticks around after Secret Wars because that is his out. If they want to recast him,
I'm not
done.
Like, sorry, that's not what I thought you were going to say. I'm not convinced that he would stick around past this. This is a trilogy. I think this will be a trilogy. I mean,
that's how they've talked about it.
Well, and he's already said, and this is not a surprise, that they're, already talking about what they're going to do for 5. So when you say he wouldn't stick around past Secret Wars, well, like 5 will be after Secret Wars, probably, like you just said. So, right? Or did I miss something of what you were saying?
I mean, it's really hard to predict or take anything everyone says like as an absolute certainty.
Well, sure, but look, this thing made almost $1 billion worldwide in the first weekend. If they're going to keep anything in a bubble, it's going to be Spider-Man. When they soft reboot. I mean, Spider-Man's in the same place that Batman and Green Goblin were when we did New 52, or sorry, Green Lantern is. It was when we did New 52, where they were like, these things are too popular to reboot. We're going to keep them in a bubble. Like, that's what I would think would happen with this. Which lends credence to, you're still never going to get Green Goblin.
But that's also why I would do Hobgoblin, because it's kind of the best of both worlds. Like, that is both a new villain and familiar.
And it's very 80s, which is the tone that they had with this, and it would be funny because it's like 90s Spider-Man where they do Hobgoblin, but before their own Green Goblin, which they'll maybe never get to, even though we've had a Green Goblin, but
yes, who was from another universe, which is why I think it'd be funny if they did the 90s thing where we do Hobgoblin first and then MCU Green Goblin.
Oh no, it would be great. I just don't think it'll happen.
That's right.
Now, keep in mind that I was real careful with my wording when I said I don't think they'll do villains that have been in other Spider-Man movies. Will they finally cast a Venom? Possibly. Like, I could see them doing that because Venom is huge. But that's kind of and actually, obviously, he was in a Spider-Man movie, so that would kind of blow my whole thing. But, like, there's already been, like, a second Venom. I just feel like that's kind of a horse of a different color. But, like, all the villains that you got in No Way Home, I don't think we'll ever get an MCU version of any of those. I'll say that. I'm going to amend that a little bit, because Venom, I think, is still on the table. But just because he's Venom.
Well, and I think there's every chance in the world, even if you wouldn't like this, when we do MCU Venom, if it's not Eddie Brock. Like, there's every chance in the world that happens.
Oh, that it's somebody else. That it's like Scorpion or it's somebody else, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't have to like it to think it's what they'll do. Yeah, absolutely. Fun. John on Kelling, $5 super chat. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. A solid 9 out of 10 for me. It would have been higher, but they neglected to add in Big Wheel. What is it with Big Wheel tonight? And they get what they deserve. Yeah, I obviously high on everybody's list for neglected Spider-Man villains that we've not gotten yet. I want a live-action Spot. I do. GG, $2 super chat. Do you think Uncle Ben will be addressed this time? What do you mean this time? I mean, like
Absolutely
the next
not.
movie finally? Because we didn't do it here. And, well, you know what? You know what? That also falls in my theory with the strategy I think they're doing with No Way Home is, well, we finally addressed Uncle Ben there. It was an Uncle Ben from a different universe, but his name came up. Like we've done that now, according to them. Well, we're never going to bring up his Uncle Ben. We already brought up one. That's the rule, man. If it came up in another Spider-Man movie, it's not going to come up here. Yeah, and that's also part of why I don't want to be cynical enough to say that's part of why they made No Way Home, but I think they're also, by they I just mean like Feige and the producers of this stuff, I think they're keenly aware of the out that they have in having brought in Spider-Mans from other universes, where they go, it's all in the same continuity now. Like, it all counts now as MCU, even though it's multiverse. So you can't say anymore, oh no, we never addressed Uncle Ben, oh no, we're not going to have Green Goblin, because we roped them all in, so we've done them all. It's one franchise now. That's how they're thinking about it.
Maybe. I mean...
Look, you don't have to like it for it to be true.
The Uncle Ben of it all so strange, because he's like very vaguely alluded to in Civil War, Homecoming, Far From Home, and then in No Way Home, like, we really seem to double down on, never mind, Aunt May is just a single, like, there never was an Uncle Ben, and don't think about it. Like, it, to me, it's like we really double down on, no, it's just Aunt May, and then she dies, and then that's the guilt and tragedy he has to deal with.
Then what the hell is he talking about in Civil War?
I don't know.
Because, yes, like you said, there clearly used to be an Uncle Ben. And there, it didn't feel like it was this rule of, and it was so early on, they didn't know what they were doing yet, but that didn't feel like there's this rule where we're not going to do anything we've done before. That felt like we're not going to name drop it and talk about it yet, because this isn't Spider-Man's movie. So we're going to just quickly allude to it and move on. And so, like, I don't think anybody watched that scene and went, how come you didn't say Uncle Ben? We weren't saying that until Homecoming, where it weirdly never comes up.
And in Homecoming, the idea was, okay, people are sick of the origin. We want to talk about the origin as little as possible, because we just rehashed this. The Sony just rehashed this with the Amazing movies. We don't...
3 years ago.
3 years ago. For me, it wasn't a problem until Far From Home, where A, we're still not talking about Uncle Ben, and B, there's like no pathos to the Aunt May Peter dynamic. Now that she knows he's Spider-Man, now she's just cool with it, and that's it. Like,
and also, there's no tragedy in that movie. Like,
no,
we're not making Peter's life difficult.
Yeah, and again, hate No Way Home and some of the choices it made all you want. Like, for me, and again, I don't even hate Far From Home. Like, there's good stuff in that movie. I just think as a sequel to Homecoming, there were a lot of missteps there.
Well, like I've always said, it felt like a side story. I mean, it just didn't feel worthy of, a spot when there's so few adventures we can do before he gets too old to play high school. And now we're there, and we just didn't do enough. It's at least not like Dark Knight Rises, where we skip ahead 8 years, he never fights any of his rogues gallery, and then he quits before he gets to fight hardly anybody. At least it's not that problem. So, like, now he's grown up, and he can do all this stuff as an adult. So at least we still have him at the moment. Unless he quits after Secret Wars, like Robert thinks he'll do. Draven, do you think... I'm kidding. Do you think we'll get Miles by the end of this trilogy? Yes. Wholeheartedly, yes.
Yes. Asterisks being if Sony lets them. If and again, I'm going off of old quotes and rumors here. Like this is not forever, but the impression I was getting with some of the stuff for a while is, oh, Sony is never going to share Miles Morales. Like that is their Spider. They'll share Peter with the MCU, but they're not going to share Miles because Miles they know is profitable and works on his own between the
Oh, you might
game
be
and
right.
so again that could change. I also think it's very possible that we start setting up Miles in the next couple of movies, but I don't know. And before anyone says, well, we set up his uncle in Homecoming, yeah, but that's before Into the Spider-Verse came out.
Yes. They could do that doesn't mean anything at this point. They could be total jerk faces about it. You know what they could do? They
Mm-hmm.
could get to the 6th movie. Let's say Holland, there's a lot of ifs obviously, but let's say Holland is done after this trilogy and we do a
Yeah.
6th movie with him and Sony lets Marvel have him for that movie. They do a handoff and then Sony breaks the relationship with MCU there, cuts it off, takes that actor, makes their own live action franchise after that, after they've put him in a movie they know a bunch of people will see. Tell me that's beneath them.
I think everything there is completely sound.
That could totally happen.
Mm-hmm.
John Von Kelling, you could still have the MCU Hobgoblin inspired by the Green Goblin, just have the Goblin's mask and glider left over from the events of No Way Home, and have the Hobgoblin obsessed with the multiverse villains. That'd be a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. It was something I thought they could have done in this movie.
Yeah.
Like him, Black Cat. There was stuff I thought they could have done here that they didn't. That I still think the door is open to in the next one.
We're finished with the super chats. I think if we missed one, somebody let me know. Robert, we are close to 3.5 hours. I said it wouldn't be 5. It won't be 5, but we got closer to that than I thought. Robert, what other points would you like to make? Or elements we didn't talk about that you think we ought to? Oh, did I mention he's never called the Punisher?
Is he not?
I saw it a second time. I was looking for it. Yeah, never comes up. He's Frank all the way through.
That's interesting.
Maybe on the news. I don't think so though. I don't think his name is ever said. I mean his superhero name is ever said.
And again, that is something I questioned because last we saw him in this universe, like he's still a fugitive. Like cops should still be after him, and they're just not in this movie.
They're just fine.
One thing some people were worried about was that they weren't gonna do the skull, or that they had to make it like really muted. I thought it looked fine.
It looked good.
He has it most of the movie. That's nice. One thing.
Sorry, to your point about and I really liked this point you made early on. Like 6 years ago, about why Peter keeps his mask on the whole time and that it's not just to preserve a secret identity. Spot on point, by the way. I also like it as potentially a little bit of a meta commentary on how the reputation these movies have for he always takes his mask off even when he doesn't need to, and it's ridiculous. I love that it's a major and kind of poignant character like story point that he won't take it off.
Mm-hmm. What was cool too about the mask is like there was a couple close-ups on his eyes where like you could see his eyes beneath the white lenses, and I thought that was a cool choice. We've never seen that, in a Spider-Man movie before. Like the scene when he calms the Hulk down, which works for some reason, and I was like, oh, that was quick. That was kind of easy.
Well, look, this is the same guy that can avoid being controlled by telepath for some reason that I'll never understand. Robotters, this is all the Fox X-Men's fault. No one knows Jean except as a villain who loses control. I'm fine with her starting that way.
Yeah.
Again, I wish she hadn't murdered people, but you can kind of do this with really any X-Men but like
Mhm.
getting the ball rolling on the mutant idea that these are people that I can't like have powers, don't know how to control them, are shunned by people in their lives because they're confused and scared by them, and they really need Xavier's school. It is a really good starting point for all of the kind of classic ideas with X-Men, and so I think it's fine to do
Mhm.
to do her that way. You kind of get the dark gene thing out of the way, and like maybe someday you'll try uh, Dark Phoenix for a third time, but it isn't the same thing as this. And also, at least we didn't start her with evil personality we had to shove down. Like it is just
Mhm.
her not being evil. I mean, she's a little evil. They made her too much that way. But when we get to the end of the movie and we see what her whole plight is, anyway,
Oh, did you see this comment from YouTube intentionally ruins lives?
huh?
'Cause he says cat they explain, and I think I missed this in the movie, but he said they explain Peter's spider sense makes him immediately sense presence, and that's what for, he immediately senses Jean's presence, and that's what forces her out, and why she can't get in his head initially. I mean, that's kind of again, that's like what I assumed it was it was a spider sense getting away. That I can't say that was made
Still
clear enough in the movie.
still not good enough for me. Because he also, for some reason, so I guess the spider sense also somehow makes him able to track how she jumps. Because like he can track that in a way nobody else can.
Kind of. I
Like,
couldn't tell how much of it was like a sense or well, he's just no, it's not a sense because he has the AI like look for like anomalies in
oh, is that
behavior.
what it
And
is?
that's
Okay,
because
never
you have
mind.
the one sequence. So like every time a person moves weird, he's like that was a jump, that was a jump.
I still
And that's
think
how
it's
he's
kind of
following
far
it.
fetched. Like, I
Yeah,
don't want to
fair enough.
quibble or anything, but I just help me out here. Spider sense is just a uh what do you call it? It's late. Is an
Like
instinct where you can detect when danger is about to happen, which is already kind of weird because it feels like precognition to some degree. Like
mhm,
when it's just oh no, a truck is coming at me. I kind of get that, but it there's a lot of versions, especially the 90s show, where the spider sense would go off just before someone did a dangerous thing. Like it can read the future,
mhm.
and you'd have no way to know that person was dangerous. They're not doing a dangerous thing, but they're about to. And so your spider sense goes off. But even if he had that, I don't understand how, if you know, like your spider sense goes off, a dangerous thing is about to happen, and you dodge, you attack it, you run away. How does it make you block telepathy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand exactly the correlation. So I can see why it would. So does that mean that if anybody knew it was coming, they could just concentrate really hard and keep her out of their head? Like, is that what we're saying?
Maybe?
I just don't understand how it works. And I'm a little stuck because it's just a thing we've never really done with him before, and it seems a little too powerful. It's also kind of weird that I it happens before he started transforming. I could almost see it a little better as just it'd be arbitrary, but I could almost see it a little better if it's he's becoming more powerful with his new arachnid transformation, and for some reason that blocks her out. Still, that's still weird. I still wouldn't really buy it, but it's odd that it happens before he's getting all these new abilities or heightened abilities.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also thought it was really funny, or really weird, that he gets the, and we didn't even really talk about this. I don't like that he's got organic webbing now. I just don't. I
I I don't have strong feelings on it. I think it's fine. I'm just again, I'm just glad we got there like scientifically, like this was like an evolution thing that happened, and that it's not spider totem stuff.
yeah No, you're
So
right.
I'm indifferent to it more than I like or dislike.
It's much better than it could have been. I think it's really silly when the AI is like, you can't use mechanical web shooters and your new organic webbing simultaneously. And I'm like, well, yeah, you can. You just put the web shooters in a different place. That's so stupid. It's like it's on top of exactly where. And also, that's real contrived and easy, right? Like they come out of exactly where you decided to put your web shooters. Okay, I mean, I realize that the Sam Raimi version also has that, and Tobey Maguire, and he's met him, and so it's already kind of funny that like these this is just how these universes work. I guess the parallel thing is in one universe. You would think to put it here because in another universe that's where it naturally would come out of. But man, once we've done it to the same guy, it is so silly that that's exactly where they come out, and that's where his web shooters have to go, and he doesn't even think like, well, would it work if I lowered it? Or like put it, I don't know, on the back of my hand? Or no, it is physically impossible to shoot both at the same time. That's so dumb.
Yes.
I laughed out loud. That was really funny. Oh, the web grenades were cool.
Yeah. Well, one thing we didn't mention earlier with Punisher stuff and like how watered down he was. I mean, that is something I'll give credit to with that Hulk sequence. Is that's where you do get out of your cake and eat it too. Is you get to have the Punisher shooting a machine gun at somebody where there's no blood and gore.
Yeah.
And I mostly liked how that scene played out though, because when we first heard that like Punisher and Hulk were in this movie, people were like, well, how is Punisher gonna fight Hulk? That doesn't make any sense. And I like that we made that part of a scene where Spider-Man's like, dude, you shouldn't be here. Like, you can do nothing in this situation. Like,
yeah, and then he kind of admits at the end, like, he just doesn't want to fight the Hulk. He's too scary. Like, how's he gonna beat him?
So yeah, that was mostly fine. What I also didn't like about that Hulk sequence is like for the first half of it, he's in his Professor Hulk self. I'm like, no, you're making me look at this again.
And it still looks awful.
It takes us so long to get to just classic Rage Hulk, and then that fight's over pretty quickly. So on like a superficial fanboy level, I finally got to see Spider-Man fight the Hulk on the big screen. That was kind of fun for a second. But yeah, that whole sequence is.
It would have been more fun if it was Man-Spider.
That's fair.
Because that's what they probably would have done if it was Man-Spider. I don't know what the original plan was. My guess is Hulk was supposed to have more to do. And they sold it on it pretty hard. I wonder if the idea wasn't like we make it a little bit more organic and we have like Punisher or someone go to Bruce Banner and go, we need you to be the Hulk to take down monster Spider-Man.
Yeah, don't quote me on this. Of course, people in the comments can correct me if this is wrong, or if we find out after the fact that this is wrong. What I heard was the Man-Spider scene they shot was just a nightmare sequence.
Oh!
And that's what didn't make the movie, so...
Oh! He wasn't even supposed to turn into him at all.
Yeah, that's what I heard, is that may have like just been like a nightmare sequence, and then they took that out because they thought it was too scary for kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I still wish at least that had been there, but
it'd be better than nothing.
It would have been better. It still wouldn't be enough for me. And it's not just because I want to see Man-Spider. It's because it feels like we're building to something kind of ominous, and that Peter is making this big mistake that he's going to have to pay for in some way, and that doesn't really pan out. Hey, what did I miss, if anything, with Jean possessing the Hulk? What possessed her to possess the Hulk? Like what made her think to do that? Because she's not able to get in Peter's head, so she wouldn't get the idea from he's gone to that school and dealt with. It's like she only does that because we've seen him in the movie already. Like, what am I missing?
I guess she just knows that he's somebody nearby. That could be it.
Okay, well that's pretty easy.
Sure. I don't disagree.
Yeah, that was pretty contrived.
No, that whole sequence did feel contrived and unnecessary to me ultimately.
I did not. I'll just say this real fast. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. why do we have to have that line in the classroom about Thanos?
Oh
I
no,
I
like
just don't do that. I mentioned that to Austin, and he said these writers need to just stay off Reddit, and he is correct.
yeah, and again, that's not all Ruffalo's fault. Like that is the writing, but again, nothing in that scene worked for me. I didn't like the jokes. I didn't like his performance. Nothing.
That just felt like, and maybe I'm overstating this, it felt like a big fu to people that have had criticism, like totally fair criticisms about their movies. I like that comes up, and it really felt like the movie or the producers or the MCU itself when that kid in the Hulk makeup stands up and just says Hulk smash, saying like screw you for asking questions. Like I really hated that.
Yeah, fair.
It's just kind of insulting, you know? Like you cannot, and I'm partly saying this because that's an issue I've had too. Like I made that same point back in the day when we reviewed Infinity War, uh, where it's like, and I've argued with people about this. There are certainly arguments against it, but the problem is that none of them are in the movie. Uh,
Yeah,
the idea that he doesn't just make more resources, like okay, maybe the Gauntlet doesn't do that. Maybe he doesn't really care about people as much as he's pretending to. But my bigger issue with it is that it doesn't come up. Why do none of the Avengers ask that question? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that should be discussed, and it reads like they just didn't think of it, and that means they're not thinking it through enough. And that being in that scene almost confirms that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, all these people had this issue with it, and then we just said Hulk smash. Like they didn't even think of it. Is what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, Devil's Advocate is in that movie. We established like he was doing this before the Gauntlet and before the Infinity Stones, like when he wiped out half of
Yeah,
Gamora's people. Like he was already doing this. So my read on it has always been like, well, look, I did this and it worked. That planet is prospering now. So why wouldn't it keep working? I'm validated. But I agree with you that there should be more characters asking those questions and him giving his reasoning, just his rebuttals, however crazy they may be. We just should be talking about that more in the movie. I agree.
YouTube intentionally ruins lives. Cap Thanos says the universe is finite, its resources finite. He explains this directly to Gamora. How does he know exactly how everything works? You know what I mean? Like sure, that's factually true, but
But then
I
why can't he create more resources with the stones? Or why
yeah.
doesn't he think
Well,
he
like
can do
oh,
that?
okay, sure, maybe they fit in like the same laws of physics as the rest of the universe, sort of. But like, how does he know that? Like he's saying that before he has all the stones, and I don't know. Like I don't want to get back into this too much, but like I in the comics that kind of gives you some kind of cosmic awareness. I don't know that it really does that in that movie. It does feel a lot more limited than it is in the comics, but the problem is you have characters that seem to know a lot about it before they put it together, and I don't understand how he knows that. And that doesn't I don't know. Maybe they think that explains it. Maybe that's good enough for them. And like maybe that's why that line is there. I never really thought about that. Like maybe. But also it's not a fix that would work forever. So like I always thought that was kind of weird too. It's like, okay, so you decrease half the population and then in X number 100 years, you're gonna be right back to the same place you are before.
Yeah.
So like, are you just trying to feel like you did something, or like, are you trying to press? I don't know. Like none of that ever gelled for me. But it'll be so much fun to rehash that when I eventually do another commentary on it. But
Yay.
anyway, I don't know. Maybe someday I will finally be convinced that that whole thing makes sense. But I've never bought into it,
But it is not this day.
and it's not today. I feel like there was something else I was going to bring up. I can't remember what. Anything else you want to talk about, Robert?
You know, no. Last thing I wanted to mention earlier, just in terms of speculation, is we talked about like the different villains we wanted to see in the next one, but also if this mandate continues that you have to put MCU crossover characters in these Spider-Man movies, I just want my Spider-Man Daredevil movie finally. Uh, I think we could do that in the next one. Not that he needs to be like a co-lead, just have Daredevil be a big part of it, like Punisher was in this one. That'd be nice. Um, you could do Punisher again, whether it's just a cameo or a bigger role. I don't see why not. But also Yelena, you could do again, or like Kate Bishop. I
Put
think
him
she'd
with
fit
Luke
in more
Cage.
Luke Cage, why not? Like where I'm getting at with all that is, I feel like there's a lot of other MCU characters you could play with in the next one. Just keep it street level. Um, and all of those characters I mentioned kind of fall into that criteria.
Draven, what did you take from the post-credit scene, Battle World, Toby or Andrew? Well, the leaked plot, if we can believe it at all, suggests that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is going to be at the start of the next one, but I don't know that the spider tracker thing is picking up other Spider-Mans. Like, I don't really know how it worked, because I mean, it's just a post-credit scene, so like it may not actually mean anything except to just tell the audience that Spider-Man is in space. But like it's
Space.
supposed to just report when people have had sightings of Spider-Man. So who in space called up someone close to Ned Leeds in New York and was like, "We found Spider-Man. He's out here in space." Like I don't really understand how that works. So I don't want to overthink that. The tracker thing is probably just a device to deliver this information. But I don't think it would have anything to do with the other two Spider-Men I because it's in space. Like maybe one of them is. My guess is that's about our Spider-Man just being in Secret Wars, because by all accounts he's not going to be in Doomsday. And again, that could happen, but for all the reasons I mentioned earlier, I don't think it will. And Secret Wars, traditionally that's Spider-Man is out in space on Battle World and he ends up getting the black costume. And Secret Wars will probably be some kind of blend of the two comic Secret Wars, I would think. So that's probably what that's saying is, don't worry, we really are going to take Spider-Man to space and give him the black costume. And I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, maybe.
RJ Godzilla Cap, these movies are made for kindergartners and thus are written well but overly simplistic for Disney Marvel's target audience, kindergartners. I'm trying to disagree with you. You're making a terrific point though. That's hyperbolic. It's not just kindergartners, but some of the simplicity where I'm wanting things to be a little bit more explicit and thought through. That is the reason.
Well, and not to be too disingenuous or dismissive, but with the MCU formula, a lot of these movies getting as good reviews as they do and are as successful as they are at the box office, I do think on some level is kind of predicated on not necessitating repeat viewing. It's like you just need to make an enjoyable enough movie that critics will say, "That was good. I had a fun time. It's fine." And to make people go, "Yay, on to the next one." And then like most of these movies they don't want you to think that deeply about over and over again. They want you to think more about what's coming next.
You're saying you're saying they would not be happy to know that I made a 4-hour review of their film.
Yes.
Why? We just want you to give us our money. Don't talk about the damn movie. Stop it. YouTube intentionally ruins lives. Do you think there's any chance we see Spidey in the FF sequel?
Yes.
Hey,
that's not dated yet. I mean, we have no idea when or if
that'll ever happen.
B, assuming that Tom Holland sticks around, and then not only to finish a new trilogy, but also have the deal they had before, where he'd get a movie and then an MCU crossover film, and then his own movie, etc. I think there's every chance in the world that after Secret Wars, like his next MCU crossover movie is Fantastic Four. I think that's very likely.
Do you think when they move, this is a crazy notion maybe, but do you think when they're, I'm going to assume, move the Fantastic Four like 2 hour time and place,
That's what
that they don't pretty quickly just become Future Foundation?
Yeah,
So I could see that happening, and I could see Spider-Man kind of joining that and coming in and out of it.
That could be the title of the next movie, Fantastic Four: Future Foundation.
Future Foundation, yeah. Or just call it Future Foundation, but it's still got the FF thing, and you know. It wouldn't sound as good in the jingle though. You can be like, Future Foundation.
Future.
Oh, that's true. You can go back to Phantasm. Welcome, Gotham, to the future. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I think that's gonna do it for us. Unless I see something else here real quick that we really need to hit. Oh, that's right. They already used Future Foundation, but they could repurpose it. No, I forgot that.
Yeah.
That's in that movie. Sue's running a thing.
Yeah.
I've only seen that a couple times and not since the theater, so I forgot all about that. I need to rewatch it just so I remember what happens in it. But it's been a bit.
But you're right. That doesn't discount anything they could do after Secret Wars. They could repurpose it, absolutely.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even be like retconny or soft rebooty or whatever. Like they could just take that name. That's actually more fuel for my fire that they could end up doing that. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But good call. Thanks for bringing that back up because I forgot about it. Okay, we're gonna get going. Thanks for watching, everybody. Robert, thanks for sticking with me for so long, man.
Oh, thank you for having me. I had a good time. I'm out of water, which is a problem, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, I'm having that too. Well, I had a lot of fun arguing with you about whether or not the Punisher would shoot twice. And you have the Han shot first argument. We have the Punisher shoots twice argument.
That's fine. And I believe in a couple weeks, you and Austin will be doing your Dino double feature of The End of Oak Street and Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. Is that officially in the works?
Oh no! He sent you that too?
Maybe.
He sent me the poster for the Paw Patrol Dino movie, which is, by the way, the most cynical trailer I've ever seen. It's like, well, we've had Paw Patrol is very popular. We make the same damn episode every single time. And we've made movies, and those were popular. What haven't we done yet? I know, dinosaur. Kids love dinosaurs, right? And you know what'll work, too. That's the big problem with it. And Austin sends me that poster, and he's like, look, there's actually, before he sent me the poster, he wrote, did you know there's another dinosaur movie coming out the same weekend as End of Oak Street? We have to do both of them. Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. And I've not facepalmed that fast in a long time.
What are the chances that Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, makes more money than End of Oak Street?
That one I would also lay $100 down on. I think that's probably gonna happen. I don't actually know that for sure, but End of Oak Street could go either way, man. That could. I mean, it's not gonna be like Backrooms or anything, but like that could hit a bit, or it could just, like, I don't think it's been massively advertised. Like, I think there's probably a lot of people that don't know about it. So that's gonna, like I said, word of mouth. If it's great,
yeah,
and it's got a good cast of people that do not always pick good projects. So, like, I just feel like it could go either way. Thanks for all the kind words in the comments, guys. Glad you enjoyed the show. Anyway, we're actually leaving now. I do this every time. It's like, if I say goodbye, stick around for 10 minutes. Anyway, thanks for watching. I was Captain Logan. We had Jason earlier, but now he's going to bed like a normal person. And we have Robert Wild, who needs water.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Hello.